You're tuned in to Get Right Fantasy.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up, friends? Daniel Dopp here from the Fantasy Focused Football Podcast over on ESPN.
It's Fab, so you're Michael Fabiano from Sports Illustrated.
You know who you can trust? If you've got some questions about your fantasy squad,
Want to check out a cool show on YouTube that'll help you get ready for the fantasy football season?
check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network. If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Head on over to YouTube. Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network because they're doing everything they can to make you a better fantasy player.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You're tuned in to Get Right Fantasy.
Ladies, gentlemen, all those in between or outside of it, welcome back to a brand new season of Friday Night Mocks right here on the Get Right Fantasy Network. I'm stealing hosting duties from Kendall tonight because I was just too freaking excited. We didn't even discuss that part before the show. That was kind of a dick move on my part. I'm sorry, I'm just too excited. I couldn't contain it. My name is Evan Sather, one of the brand new members of the team. With me, as always, is Kendall VanDerBilt. Kendall, how are you, my friend?
It's Friday night, baby. First inaugural mock draft. We've been doing Dynasty rankings the last couple of weeks. I have been watching every other show on the planet, watching what the other cooks in the kitchen have going on. So it's going to be fun. I don't have my rankings pulled up. I'm going a la carte tonight, just off the cuff, just winging it, seeing just how bad Sleeper's ADP is to start the season. It's going to be a good night, Evan. Glad I'm with you.
Well, so a lot of folks have been waiting patiently. Should we just get this started right now?
Dude, I'm ready to rock and roll, man. I think let's give the guys a little 3, 2, 1, and if we can pause for a second, we'll figure it out, man.
Wait a second. It's Get Right Fantasy. Got to roll the sleeves up.
Oh,
there we go.
My guy came ready. Good to see you, by the way, Vince. I see you up in chat. How we doing? An absolute legend. If y'all don't know, Vince is the man. Host of
3,
Scott
2, 1. Let's fucking go. Here we go. Starting with Victorious at the 101 with by the way, in case you didn't see the title, this is a 12-team SuperFlex Dynasty PPR startup. I'm up next. I got to go with Drake May, a guy that Kendall was selling hard on after Josh Allen. Not selling as the kids say these days, but Kendall, so in case people didn't see last night's Dynasty show that we recorded, the buy-sell show, and published today, of course. Would you like to go over why you would consider selling Drake May in the 2026 offseason?
Yeah, so the big idea is not that I'm anti-Drake May. I'm actually super into Drake May, but at the quarterback position, I feel like the quarterback position is deeper than it's been in quite some time, and there is value to be had from a points per game perspective by going with a tier down or two at quarterback. And, this is actually going to be a great spot for it, right? Actually, I wanted to pick here because I do want to, this is absolutely razor thin between two guys. Do I do Puka or JSN, baby? This is so close, man. I think
you got to go JSN. I like him better than Puka.
I'm such a JSN guy.
Yes, thank you. I am so glad. I feel like JSN doesn't get enough respect as a top-tier wide receiver just by name value alone. Like, people don't think of him as the best wide receiver in the league. I mean, he was a wide receiver 1 this year, was he not?
Yeah, he was. Right. I guess you got to check on format, but no, I think pretty much across everything he was wide receiver 1.
Yeah, I'm seeing him as wide receiver 2 in standard PPR leagues, but standard PPR leagues, regular PPR leagues. But so far, 3 quarterbacks, 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs off the board, and Luxembourg took Trey McBride. So, I don't believe we set this up as tight end premium, but even if it's not...
Yeah, we can't set it up as TEP just because that's how Sleeper... somehow Sleeper doesn't have that. Yeah, devs, Sleeper devs. Yeah. Someone get in the YouTube comments and yell at some Sleeper devs. Tight end premium is the future, man. Come on. We worked so hard to get here. Yeah,
Kendall,
curious.
even if this wasn't a tight end premium league, would you be okay with taking Trey McBride in a dynasty startup in the first round?
I am okay with it. I have Bowers and McBride basically at the tail end of the top 12. I have them closer to like 10-12 range, but I'm fine with it. It's mostly are you taking McBride, or are you taking the super chalky receiver, or are you taking Bijan, Gibbs, or I think Jeremiah Love is a little risky for me, but I'd probably be okay with them. I'm fine taking an elite positional player there and just moving the quarterback down, right? I think the big question is like, I might also skip quarterback in round 2, and if I'm going like a Trey McBride, it's really a personal choice of what are you getting on the comeback, right? So if you are really spicy on a player that's going to fit in that round 2, then I actually think it's pretty fine to grab your Bowers or McBride, either or, and then grab your second positional unit there. So, but if you have a thin list of quarterbacks you like, that's when I think it's a little bit dicey in particular. And I guess the way I build my teams, I would prefer a Bijan or a Gibbs over them, just because I think they're a little bit harder to replace and tight ends a little bit deeper.
I think that's fair. So I think it's interesting that Victorious here in the comments mentioned that's an early pick for Justin Jefferson. Interesting coming from a Vikings fan. So Doc Watson took Justin Jefferson at the 111. I don't hate that pick. I think you got to go based off of talent alone as your top wide receiver. He followed it up with Amon-Ra St. Brown at the 2-2. So, Kendall, do you like this wide receiver stack to start a 12-team Dynasty Superflex startup?
Well, I do like them over Lamar. Depending on the settings, I could see Burrow. I mean, I kind of like the positional player there, honestly. I like the stack. I do question. I think I would want to grab one of the chalky running backs there and not stack wide receiver, but that's mostly because I like so many of the mid-tier wide receivers, and there's so many mid-tier running backs that I just despise. So if I go with a stack like that, I always feel like I'm going to overpay at running back at some point in time. So it's less that those two players went off. And I do have neighbors above Amon-Ra, but if we're splitting hairs at that particular point, I think I would go just outside of wide receiver. It's personal choice, though. I got to see a couple more boards to see.
Yep, and guess what I'm about? Oh, fucking goddamn it, breaking ball. I knew he was going to take Caleb. I'm pissed. I wanted to grab Caleb as my second quarterback.
I thought about him at 2-6. I really did.
I'm going to get spicy here. I'm going to go Jackson Dart here, and I'm probably going to hate myself if this was a real league, because I am actually scared for Jackson Dart's future, because Brian Daboll almost ruined him with getting him in a play style with multiple head injuries. He had one confirmed concussion against our Bears, and now he's got Matt Nagy as his offensive coordinator. Dart, I think, is going to have to run for his life the way Justin Fields did under Nagy, but I don't know. What do you think, Kendall? Do you think Dart is going to be set up for a shitty like Bears-style offense when Justin Fields was with us?
No, I'm pretty into Dart. It's one of the things. Dart had very few weapons. I mean, I love Wandale. Me and Mike are leading the charge for the Wandale fan club here. But realistically, he lost Scadaboo, right? They just didn't have a lot around him, and he still did pretty good. You put a lot of other quarterbacks in his place with what he got, and they would be so much worse. The fact that he did what he did with what he had, tells me I feel pretty good about that. Right? It took guys like Trevor Lawrence with plenty of stuff, a lot of steam to get there. I've seen more talented quarterbacks play worse with less. I think it's a good trial by fire for his rookie year. He didn't have stuff handed to him. He had adversity. He had his own injuries to deal with. And that's a good. He packed a lot of learning into 1 year. Now he gets elevated coaching, and the head coach is not going to let the offensive coordinator cost this franchise something. That it's too well run historically when you look at 10-20 year windows. So is there some injury concern? Yeah. Am I going a little extra on the, oh my goodness, big quarterback run? I actually got like a really close. Is this close for me? Oh my goodness. It kind of is.
Yeah. Now what do you do after 3 guys in a row, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big Purdy guy. I like to fade Bo Nix. This feels really cheap for Patrick Mahomes though, right? It feels kind of, yeah, I'm just going to pull the trigger on Mahomes here.
I don't hate it.
This is one of those, like, even if he has a bad year here and there, I feel like he plays forever and never gets replaced, where all the rest of these guys are one bad year and then one half of a season away from like what happened to me having like a very even just startable quarterback forever, essentially, right? So this was a safety play because his name, he's just never going anywhere. And I do think the offense bounces back, but this is not I'm not taking Mahomes here because I think he's gonna have a good next year. I think it's just because I want a little bit of safety, and I'm picking between him and a couple other guys I all like. So we'll see who falls.
I wanted to point something out that has gone unnoticed until now. Breaking Ball, not only did he steal Caleb from me, but he took Mekhi Lemon as his first wide receiver off the board, a rookie out of USC that has not yet been drafted. Do you care about Lemon's landing spot?
No, I think it's a solid landing spot. I mean, it's close, like, you know, I think McMillan maybe is going a little bit low, but like in this range, starting with those two quarterbacks, I think it's nice. I mean, there's upside for Lemon to be going a couple picks earlier next year. I do think it's a little aggressive, right? It's risky. I think I want to be the new way I'm playing Dynasty is I'm just being a little more risk averse through the earlier rounds, just because I think I can gain a little bit of an edge in season, in trades, a little bit here and there. It's harder to recover from a swing and a miss risk. So it's not the way I play, but I don't think it's a bad pick. It's in the right range. It's maybe 10 picks above where I would prefer it or so, but that's not far enough to not take a shot. And first rookie mock, or not rookie, first Dynasty mock of the year, I think you want to play with some builds a little bit. So I think we're going to have some spicier rookie picks to see how it feels.
ESPN right now, according to their own little formula that they have for calculating rookie grades in the NFL draft, they have Mekhi Lemon as the third best wide receiver behind Jordan Tyson and Carnell Tate out of Arizona State and Ohio State, respectively. What I meant by that, my last question, Kendall, I don't know. We don't know yet who's going to draft Mekhi Lemon. What I meant by landing spot is, do you care what team he lands on that could produce his or maximize his fantasy value?
I mean, I certainly care, but I think he's relatively sort of, proof. I mean, do I just take Tate here?
Why not?
No, dude, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson. See, I'm still a believer in Garrett Wilson, even though he's a New York Jet. He's proven he can be a top 10 wide receiver. I love that as your second wideout off the board.
Yeah, I wasn't ready to take the rookies just yet, right after. I mean, I literally just went on my... I had to think about it for a second. Like, we're kind of getting to the point where I like Tyson and Tate here. But for me, that pick was probably between... I mean, I like Garrett Wilson there, but I was really thinking Egbuka there. So for me, this pick is Garrett Wilson or Egbuka, essentially. I was taking one of those two. But I do think I need to lay off wide receiver a little bit early. When I reach down the board, there's so many guys that I want a little bit later on that aren't going to come back, as everybody knows. I mean, everyone knows I want Rome extremely badly, and I'm starting a little bit wide receiver heavy, so that might be a little bit tough. I like BTJ a little bit more than a lot of folks do, so I'm probably going to have to be a little less wide receiver crazy earlier on to make some room later on for those guys. So my first observation.
Hey, Kendall, guess what? Carnell Tate, baby.
Yeah.
Dude,
we get draft a lot.
Yeah, we gotta risk it. I mean, Carnell Tate. I did not watch a lot of Ohio State football, if any seconds of Ohio State football at all. But I mean, from a house that built Garrett Wilson, of course, I'm gonna definitely take Carnell Tate. If this is definitely a dynasty startup. And of course, Victorious takes Tyson off the board as well. Now I'm going to follow that up with a more solid veteran. Do I go? Yeah, fuck it. We're going to go Romo Dunze here. So taking rookies this early in a dynasty startup, Kendall, if you're looking to win now, is that a good idea? Or do you just look to be somebody in a decent draft position where you could start hoarding first and then just keep building on youth?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of... I don't really ever draft to win now. I think it's inflexible, and it puts you in a bind where you're just not ready for the bleed, the value bleed that could potentially happen there. So it's not my go-to strategy for sure. I do think as I've played more and more Dynasty, especially in leagues that move quite a bit, because I'm playing very young, very youth heavy, very like I'm not playing for year one, but I'm saying I'm drafting and I will have to trade into a better contending position to really make it happen. But I will grab like a one-off Devontae Adams or something like that, just purely because I'm planning on selling them to a contender. And I think in the startup, there's a certain point where production gets forgotten about in the draft, and then people, remember, at some point later on. So.
I actually wanted to point this out too. John Nickel also complimented your pick of Patrick Mahomes at the 307. Very nice pick. Patrick Mahomes, I could see going later and later in these dynasty startup drafts. I mean, is that really late for him, considering how kind of screwed up ADP is right now?
I mean, it's interesting, right? Like, I think he belongs kind of in this pack, right? T-Law's got the age and a little bit more legs to him, right? If anything, I mean, Hurts went quite late too. I mean, I think Hurts would have been a pretty sick value there. I think Mahomes belongs in the Herbert Lawrence tier right now, but I think he's a little bit safer. I'm still taking Herbert right now over Mahomes for the legs. I don't think Mahomes is leaving the third round. I really don't think he climbs into round 2. I think there is a world where he could fall to round 4, but I don't think it goes much higher.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair as well. So I just wanted to point that one out as well. So far, I don't really see any major surprises aside from taking rookies earlier than but then again, like these are projected to be first round, second round rookies that you're probably going to want to grab in like the third, fourth, and fifth rounds at this point to build out your dynasty team. It's been years since I've done like a real dynasty startup, so it's a little different for me. But I want to point out construction done so far by Vince Mapstone, my favorite Aussie from down under. Started with quarterbacks, goes Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs. He goes for some solid veterans that I think a lot of people are down on, considering what happened to them last year, or just how just the hive mind in general just doesn't view them as highly. Would you be happy with a start like this in Vince's spot?
Would I be happy with it? I mean, he's set up to win right now, in my opinion. It's not necessarily the way I like to draft. Jacobs is a particular pick. I mean, it's balanced, right? I don't see anything wrong with it. I think that he got stuck with some pretty tough spots, in my opinion. I'm not a big starting with those two quarterbacks. I think they're position players I would want to secure, and then I would have wanted to grab quarterback a little bit later. So am I fine with it? Yeah. I like the individual picks are okay. Outside of maybe Jacobs for me. I think it's a good start. I think he got sniped in a couple of spots. I would really just change the Jacobs pick, and we're selling Chase Brown, right? So not my personal style, but I'm not going to knock it for the build quality.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, just in case you guys haven't watched the Dynasty buy sell video that Kendall and I recorded last night and published today, I'm still selling Chase Brown. I am quite possibly his biggest fantasy hater, being that I think his production is not sustainable, and I think he's going to be hindered just by the way the Cincinnati Bengals suck on offense, which is weird to say considering that they got all these amazing superstars that they're just wasting the careers of. It was in 2021 when they made it to the Super Bowl because the Brown family actually paid their defense. And then when they cheaped out on the defense, all of a sudden the Bengals are back to being a barely floating at 500 style team. Ultimately that's not going to stop you from taking Joe Burrow early in a dynasty startup draft. I think the 2-1 is kind of a sick value for Burrow. What do you think, Kendall?
2-1 for Burrow. Yeah, I mean, I liked the Burrow value more than Lamar. Lamar is getting me a little bit scared these days. I mean, new coach is a little bit interesting. The injuries kind of doing a thing is a little bit interesting. I mean, they're upside picks. I'll give it that. I like the Burrow pick better just for like long-term longevity. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I gotta think about my tiers in terms of where I want to take my quarterbacks in relation to everybody else. But I think it's hard to argue. I mean, when I'm looking at like Genti's got a little bit of risk there. I really like Hampton and Achane, but like, would I? These guys go in a few picks apart. Like, would I trade Genti for Lamar, Burrow? And it's like, yeah, give me the quarterback, right? So when I look at the positional value next to them, it feels pretty good. When I look at Vince's build, I don't love that there was a bigger teardrop than I think I anticipated at the positional players, and that's where it hits me.
I'm kind of mad at the Hershey's person because I really wanted Quinshon Judkins and I got sniped. You guys are doing great at sniping me tonight, by the way.
Right.
Oh, my goodness. But anyway, I grabbed R.J. Harvey as my second running back. I was not big on R.J. Harvey in his rookie year, as I was worried that he was just going to become like the next Javonte Williams, where he was just going to underperform and stink up the joint. But that was until Javonte Williams joins the Cowboys, and then all of a sudden, he gets really good with the volume that he got fed in a much more functional offense. So, at this point, does R.J. Harvey have any reason to do worse than he did in the second half of his rookie year?
Yeah, I worried a little bit about some of the pure talent and pop I saw from him, his explosivity and burst at the NFL level. But I do like that he didn't make a lot of rookie mistakes. He did his job. He had good ball security. He was very effective on third down, not just catching a lot of passes, but catching some touchdowns as well. So I think he secured a pretty strong role. I do want to see a little bit more in the running game in general, like his actual run. I feel like if his touches come down a little bit, he could be known more as a shared backfield, but probably the guy for a lot of the high leverage touches. The thing that I like about RJ Harvey is even if he's not like amazing, I think he's got a really nice role in a nice team and a pass catching role in a team that is probably losing pass catching weapons versus gaining them. So yeah, Vikes' analytics are pretty terrible, and they were. I mean, he should have broken more tackles. He absolutely should have created more separation. So that worries me a lot. I need to see him hit the weight room and make something happen this offseason, like quite a bit. This is just too much value for CJ Stroud, right? There's just no way I'm not taking him here.
In SuperFlex, like that's incredible value. I've been recommending people to buy CJ Stroud now that they finally got an offensive coordinator who I'm hoping will do a much better job with the weapons that he's got. But I mean, they got to fix that offensive line in Houston. It's really terrible, just like Harvey's analytics. I also wanted to bring up, I blame Pierce's comment about Lamar Jackson we were just talking about along with Joe Burrow, that he had the calf issue and then he took that cheap shot to the kidney. No need to worry about Lamar. Did we forget the season he had the year prior? I agree with you. I blame Pierce, as you have Lamar Jackson in your avatar, of course. I've been really angry at all of the Lamar hater comments, acting like he's this bad quarterback, I say in air quotes, and that he can't get it done when he had a 41-4 touchdown to interception ratio in 2024. Now, I mean, granted, that was, the season before and not last season. It's shown that Lamar Jackson absolutely can perform with the right coaching staff. And now he's got Jesse Minter as his head coach, and I forgot the offensive coordinator that they hired. But, I mean, thank goodness it's not Greg Roman anymore, right?
Yeah, oh my goodness. Amen to that. You are not wrong there. Man, I even hate just the name in and of itself. That is brutal. This is crazy. I'm going way down the board. I'm like, I need to get some people starred here. I'm so unprepared to like this ADP is absolutely outrageous. It's already throwing you off that you're getting 40, 50 picks down the board in the rankings and realizing, oh, there's guys down there. There's some guys left.
I should have known the Ravens hired Declan Doyle. He was our offensive coordinator on the Bears last year.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that in the news feed too, and thinking like, ooh. This is some fun stuff. Like the Bears coaching staff has never been like a top tier acquisition before, so it's kind of fun. Normally it's the opposite. Normally it's we got Lazar and this and that. That's pretty fun. I might have to be a Lamar truther just because the Bears energy is going to rub off on him, right?
Yeah, and then I blame Pierce also mentioned the Joe Lombardi on the offensive staff as well. I think that's another good hire that the Ravens got too.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we had some underrated folks on our staff, to be honest, and they got to pop a little bit once we had a just a better organizational leader at the helm that kind of allowed them to shine a little bit. So, and good for them, right? Being attached to the Bears was not exactly a career maker for a while there. And it all came together, and good for them. I'm happy to see him doing well in other spots, right?
Most definitely. So, This has been an interesting mix of rookies and veterans where I don't know if you can go wrong with either way, but T. Hummel ended up picking Travis Hunter as his fourth wide receiver, which I think is now super risky as we're starting to see some rumors that Hunter's going to be playing more cornerback than wide receiver. I'm worried Travis Hunter is going to be just like this gadget guy that's not going to be fantasy relevant anymore. Kendall, are you believing in these rumors right now, or have you heard any different?
I don't want to believe him. I mean, let's put it that way. I certainly don't want to believe him. Look, do I think it's easier for him to get on the field with their offensive weapons? That when he plays on offense, somebody good is sitting. Someone very, very good is sitting. Like, are we forgetting Parker Washington? I wish I hadn't said that because I want to draft him at some point here. Look at how he ended his season. He was, and I did not like Parker Washington. I pretty much I was wrong on him every single week for a long time until I'm like, okay, all right, you did it to me. I'm there now. I do think it's going to be tougher for him to get on the field. He's still more talented than a lot of guys on the field, though, right? Like, I like Jacoby Myers. Travis Hunter is more talented. He's just not quite as NFL smart and savvy, and that athleticism combo is going to flip-flop, right? If that happened next year, if Jacoby loses one step and Travis gains it, that's enough. If Parker Washington... I don't actually know his contract situation, but there's a lot of paths to the first half of the year being bad for Travis. And then all of a sudden it's Dynasty. We play in long windows. I can see him coming back and having the role I thought he would have, which is he's going to play a lot of defense, but he's also going to be like an Isaac Tesla. He's going to have some high leverage stuff, and he's going to run some JSN deep stuff. And overall, I've cooled quite a bit on Travis Hunter. Like, I've just cooled off a lot. The team signed too many good players, and it started to work when he was injured. That doesn't feel good, right? You know, from a coaching standpoint, you got to take that into account. And you know what he's taking him in the 8th, right? There's a couple guys I would still take over him that are just way safer. But if he hits, like, it's pretty nice when he hits. At this point, I just think his upside is a little bit capped. So I would have taken Pearsall over him, but once we start getting to like the 8-10, maybe, if I took all of my picks, yeah, I'm taking him at least by the turn. I'm not letting him pass there, I don't think. I was for sure taking Pitts over him, but I'm not seeing many guys that I feel great about left on the board that I want over him.
Yeah, no, there's really not a lot of choices at that point. I mean, we're starting to get into almost a double-digit rounds. We're starting to get into the nitty-gritty of depth, and you have to really think about who to get at this point. Do you start taking chances on rookies? Do you go after a Shedeur Sanders like I just did, which makes me want to vomit if this was a real league? But I needed a third quarterback at some point, and like I was saying on the Dynasty buy-sell show last night, I don't believe Sanders is losing that starting job, because I'd be very surprised if Deshaun Watson can ever suit up again for the Cleveland Browns, considering the 2 Achilles tears he had within a 90-day span. I don't know if this guy's going to be NFL ready ever again. Like, they paid him all that money, so they have to keep him on the roster, but I don't see how he's beating Sanders as the starting quarterback at this point.
Yeah, I honestly, I can't disagree with that too much. Ooh, I'm curious what you think about that, man.
Kyler Victoria says the Kyler disrespect has gone too far if he's going behind Sanders. I do not agree with that. I think Kyler Murray is going exactly where he deserves at this point in his career, considering how he has not gotten better than the low-end QB2 value he was putting up before the foot injury. And the Arizona Cardinals did not rush to bring him back. They were doing everything they could to say, you know what, your foot hurts. We're going to use that as the excuse to keep you out because Jacoby Brissett plays better than you, so fuck you, Kyler. They're going to figure out how to probably trade him this coming offseason. But Kyler Murray, you know, I was actually talking with my younger brother about this before the show tonight. Wouldn't it be some shit if Kyler Murray got traded to the Raiders and then the Cardinals end up drafting Fernando Mendoza?
Dude, that's okay. That is pretty spicy. I hadn't actually considered that combination, but that's
they would have to trade Max Crosby first to do it because Kyler's really expensive. But it seems to me the Raiders are pretty set on Fernando Mendoza based on everything we've heard and read, right?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like right now that, at least from what I've heard from some inner circles, that Brady wants him. Brady's not a fan of the tiny quarterback. He thinks size is pretty big deal. And Mendoza is that stereotypical, like he's got that size, right? He can make some things happen just by being tall, right? Now, it's so many of these smaller quarterbacks that have a lot of talent just don't translate. So I'm in on, I drafted him. I'm in on Mendoza, but I don't think there really is a hole realistically that's going to fix it. You could put 100 players on that team until they get like an adult at quarterback. The rest of the team just doesn't even care, right? You need a champion that's going to make everyone else 5% better. And Mendoza had the right college coaching, the right attitude. There's an X factor to drafting him. It's almost like you're adding to your coaching staff. It's an efficient play, and that's why there's not really an amount of draft picks I think that's going to take to get it done. He's going to stay.
Definitely. John Nickel also brings up a good question. Do we think, is it going to be Kyler Murray or Tua Tagovailoa to find a way to start next year if they are cut or traded from their respective teams? Honestly, I would bank more on Tua than Kyler. I don't have any firm reasoning behind that aside from vibes, because I think Tua more or less, Tua turned the ball over, but Kyler Murray is a big interception thrower too. They're not the same quarterback. Kyler definitely rushes better than Tua, but I would go with Tua just based on what he had to work with the Dolphins. But to look at it another way, Kendall, do we care either way considering how bad their careers are going?
We care from a trade value standpoint, right? We care from when do we pick them up, buy to sell, basically, right? Do we just find an opportunity where you see how sometimes in Dynasty, literally just a guy's going to spot start for like 4 games or less, 3 games? What did Flacco go for? It wasn't just a 4th. Some teams that really needed that position, you could sell him for a 3rd. And when you compare that value to something else, it's like, ooh, that's a thing. So I do think it matters a little bit, but I'm only thinking short term. Like, I don't think either have careers in the NFL anymore because the 2027 class is going to reset the quarterback position. So I think it's going to be a little bit bad right now. 26, obviously a terrible class. But then 27, a bunch of people are going to get drafted, and I think they lose a lot of value in 2027. So I'm kind of future-proofing them for 2027. Short term, they might add value. There's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks plus some injuries. I just don't think they ever get back to like a full-fledged starter, in my opinion. Kyler, maybe you could blame some coaching, maybe. If Tua stays healthy, though, I'm kind of with you on like Tua could be a better bridge than Geno. Like Geno was god awful, right? Like could Tua be better in a situation like that? It's gross to say, but it's very possible. I mean, he's accurate and a quick thrower. I think you put him with a smart head coach, OC coordinator that already has like okay weapons. Like, can he do an okay like game manager? I actually think he can.
Definitely. Well, Victoria says Kyler is going to be playing for the Vikings at some point, in my opinion. So, assuming J.J. McCarthy, who JWN71 took in the 10th round at the 10:05, assuming he does not pan out, just because I have not been liking what the Vikings coaching staff under Kevin O'Connell have been doing with J.J. McCarthy, giving him practically no confidence to be able to build up his completion percentage. Like, give him some easier screens. Give him some slant routes. Like, I don't understand what the hell they're doing up in Minnesota with J.J. McCarthy, considering the lack of arm experience he had from throwing the football at Michigan. So, are the Vikings a realistic destination for Kyler Murray?
I don't think so. And here's why. Like, they just swung and missed in the draft. It was bad luck. It was just kind of a bad everything, right? Kyler's got some stink on him, and he's not coachable. So are you going to take someone could say like, oh, Kevin O'Connell's a quarterback whisperer. He'll make Kyler work. On the opposite side, you could say, are you going to make Kevin O'Connell look bad by giving him an impossible prospect that probably wants to play esports? I just don't know if you ruin, and if it goes bad, like if it goes bad with Kyler, you all of a sudden sound like the Atlanta Falcons, right? Like just can't get it right. No plan, no direction, get an adult in the room. Kyler to me feels like, dude, you guys never had a plan. You're just throwing out ideas, right? I want something more structured, and Kyler's too risky plus not long-term thinking. I don't like it.
Yeah, but I mean, when you think about it, that kind of is the Minnesota Vikings in a nutshell when they have to panic. But I mean, they did move on from their general manager, who, boy, did he swing and miss on so many draft picks. I can't pronounce his name, but he already got hired. I think he already got hired by another team. It begins with the letter A. I can't remember the old GM's name, but I don't know. I mean, I guess we could see Kyler maybe going to the Vikings with it not making sense. What else doesn't make sense to I blame Pierce is the Michael Pittman Jr. disrespect continuing. Michael Pittman got taken at the 10:08 after Alec Pierce. How do you take Alec Pierce before Michael Pittman, being that you took Pierce, Kendall?
Dude, I love Alec Pierce so much, man. I'm so in on Alec Pierce. Like,
that's news to me. Wow.
Alec Pierce made Anthony Richardson look good. Find me another player that can do that. I mean, seriously, name one. Give me one that can do that, right? There are very, very few people. Wow, there are so many freaking wide receivers I need to take. I'm just not going to have a single running back. I won't do it. I might not draft another running back.
Are you going 0 RB in this Dynasty startup?
Well, I went early. I pulled the trigger on Achane in 2,
That's
and then
true.
I was really happy with Brees in 6. And there's like 2 running backs that I can tolerate left. So I might buy one when they don't do anything. You're gonna say I'm gonna hit my run later on of all of my like RB 4-5s that I still kind of have some faith in, but like the Tracy, the Dowdles, I can never get behind the like. Literally in 1 year, they could move down like 5 rounds in the draft board. It's so volatile, and the upside's there, not there. So I'm consistently at running back saying I want to get a stud. I don't need 2, but I want a concrete, definitive. I know what's good, and then I want to take lots and lots and lots of shots at guys that can just mix in throughout the season. I'll solve my RB2 in-season type of play and then load up everywhere else. A lot of people go 0 RB. I'm never going back to 0 RB. Solving RB1 and 2 is just, you're always going to overpay, in my opinion. So I'm at least hero RB, and I'm kind of been leaning to like, if I draft 2 stable RBs, if one of them gets injured, I'll just not win that year and I'll sell, and that's fine. But if they stay healthy, your guys are in trouble. That's kind of my theory.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with that theory as well. I mean, I wouldn't avoid Michael Pittman underneath Alec Pierce, but I mean, I am going a lot more veteran. I'm biased more towards the veterans anyway, aside from like a Carnell Tate, who should easily be a high draft pick on a wide receiver needy team. Mm-hmm. But outside of this, like, I haven't really seen a lot of people going rookie heavy in this startup. I like what everybody in this draft is doing so far, like taking their shots on a few rookies that they really, really like. And then outside of that, well, I guess I just found it. Luxembourg has been doing more rookie heavy stuff. He went early with McBride, London, T-Law, Egbuka, Love, Boston, and then starting with Boston, going down with Bell, Price, Sadiq, Simpson, and then I don't remember who this Allen is. Oh, that's right, Katron Allen. I guess if you're not necessarily looking to win now, this rookie draft class I'm not super excited about, but would you be happy with this roster so far, Kendall?
Let's see. That's the range of quarterbacks I want right there. I love that he was able to get, McBride and London before the quarterbacks. That feels really, really nice. So that's elite stable. He never has to draft a tight end ever, which is kind of nice. I like that. I don't think those RBs do too much, but I mean, I haven't really scouted them a ton. So it's like we're mocking when this would clearly happen post draft. So I think if he's drafting the way I think he is, he's probably drafting guys he likes, but obviously those picks will be like any running back in that range that makes sense just based on his build, right? He went 0 RB through 8 and then hit a pocket where he just had to. So I think those RBs are going to change positions, but I don't hate this play. I like the quarterback and where he took them and how he took them. So I don't mind it. I do think this is a build that he's probably going to move some players around at the time of contention, right? I could easily see him flipping a quarterback at some point. I like the build. That's a build that I tend to be closer to.
So we have a question from JP Tay. Where would you take Talon Green, Arkansas's quarterback, in a 5-round rookie draft? Obviously a project quarterback. Yeah, obviously is damn right. He's not a guy I'm looking to draft at all, because outside of guys like Mendoza, Simpson, maybe Carson Beck and Trinidad Chambliss. I am not impressed with this rookie draft class so far outside of Simpson and Mendoza. Would you even take a look at him, Kendall, Taylon Green, in a 5-round rookie draft?
Not really. I mean, I know he's a project quarterback. But does he have a space in here somewhere? Yes. But it's got to be okay. Let me actually give you like a ranking of like where I'd start looking at him. There's so much trash in here that I like players I'm just never drafting, so that's a little bit difficult. I can bring it up at some point, but he's not going in the first 15 rounds. Like this has to be like a last round or two. And the reason for me is most of my teams that I load up on players, unless the roster spots allow for just too many roster spots, I feel like there's so many worlds where he's actually off my roster before he has a chance to do anything. And so I actually think there's a good chance that I would rather use that roster spot for somebody else and pick him up later on. I guess that's the way I'm thinking. I haven't historically liked those super deep shots at quarterback. I feel like even when they get a little bit of a spot, they get replaced even when they get a little something. So if I had to say anything, I think I'm fading that. But if it's a pet pick, go for it. I would want to draft him more, Evan, if there was a chance that he gains a lot of hype. I would want it to be from a school that has a hefty fan base, somebody that's got some personality and pop, going to make social media. We don't necessarily know if he's going to get a lot of that. And I think all of his hype might get faded out as soon as the 27 class hits. So I'm fading project quarterbacks until 2028 is probably my best answer.
Yeah, I'm all in on fading Taylon Green. I wouldn't even take I mean, if it's a Superflex league, yeah, you might have to take a look at him, but I'm not banking on anything from Arkansas's former starting quarterback. I wasn't even that impressed with his numbers in his final year. Like, 2,714 passing yards, 8.3 yards per attempt, 60.7 completion percentage, and a 19 to 11 touchdown interception ratio. Yeah, nah, I'm out. I don't want anything to do with Taylon Green. Depremere also says, if good running backs stay healthy, they represent the best path to consistently being competitive. Had a startup in 2020 where a guy drafted Henry and Taylor, and he's been competitive every year and won twice. Yeah, I don't hate going veteran running back and veteran running back if you want to win now, because it's those stud running backs that are going to make the difference. No matter how hard you want to go zero RB or how you want to load up at another position, you need at least a hero running back. And having two of them like this, love it. Absolutely love it. Even in 2026, I still love it.
Yeah, I definitely agree there too. Man, it's tough when you only got the 5 bench spots and you're like, oh, but I want to keep taking more players, man. Oh, man.
So Victorious is wondering, you're not taking Tyjae Spears here?
Honestly, once I get to this range, I really rely on me having sorted all my players by a watch list and queued up. And 30-second picks are pretty brutal. You got to go with what you see, right? So I'll totally admit Gainwell was the last pick. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I wanted to start taking a running back or two at 14 and 15. Just the way I had it sorted was like, oops, I'm taking McMillan here. Yeah, Spears would have absolutely been in contention. I tell you, I like Isaiah Davis, Braylon Allen more than Spears, just to like take over a little bit. I like Caleb Johnson was actually who I really probably should have taken at that spot. That could be pretty interesting. But I've got Gainwell. If I could have doubled him up, actually, that could have been pretty good in 14. I like Spears. I want to take him later, though. I don't like the Titans. I don't like Cam Ward. I think they need a lot of help. I am a Spears guy, but I would want it a little bit later.
Yeah, and you took Jalen McMillan over Tyjae Spears. I mean, I would much rather bank on McMillan over a Tyjae Spears, where we were just talking about this last night on the Dynasty Buy-Sell show. Tyjae Spears, with the injuries that he's had, has pretty much limited whatever upside he had remaining to be anything worthwhile on the Tennessee Titans. And with this new coaching regime, they have no reason to even be loyal to somebody like a Tyjae Spears. I think they're going to definitely look to draft a running back and clean up that backfield, being that Tony Pollard is not their long-term answer for the Titans. He was a holdover after they let go of Derrick Henry to go sign with the Ravens in free agency, which I still can't believe that organization let him do that. What a bunch of idiots.
Right? I'm with you on that one, man.
And speaking of running backs who are out the door, Rico Dowdle is probably not coming back to the Carolina Panthers. Chuba Hubbard probably went too low in this draft. I don't even know where Chuba went, actually. I'm trying to...
14-8. He went after McMillan. Wow. Yeah.
Holy fuck. I just noticed that now.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's an amazing value pick before Caleb Johnson. I Blame Pierce also mentions Caleb Johnson I like more this upcoming year. Arthur Blank, Mike Tomlin, and the old Steelers regime hated this rookie. Yeah, honestly, I agree. I thought they were a little too harsh on a guy who needed more time to develop in the NFL. He was a third-round draft pick. I think Caleb Johnson went to Iowa, if I'm not mistaken. Caleb Johnson, we had a lot of people in the fantasy football world during the 2025 NFL season who were like, oh, get ready to sell insurance, Caleb Johnson. And it's like, hey, yo, can we take it down a few notches? He's a rookie. He needs time to get acquainted with the NFL level. Not all running backs hit right away. Sometimes there are those players that we're just wrong about, not limited to like Geno Smith and Super Bowl champion Sam Darnold. Am I right? Like Caleb Johnson, does he get a better shot with this new coaching regime in Pittsburgh?
I don't love the coaching regime in Pittsburgh, but I do think Caleb Johnson is going to be fine. I think he's talented. He had just the worst luck I've ever seen. Why you have he got? I could echo what we're all thinking, right? The point is, I do still worry about that coaching staff a little bit. I think the team's not very good, so that correlates really poorly with the running back position. I don't love him next year. I love him in 2027 when I think he'll get a better shot. But I think he gets on the field this year, and I think he's more talented than the running backs on the field. We'll see about coaching. I'm in between on Caleb. I should be spicy on him. I'm tempering my own expectations just because it's running back. I never want to be too spicy on I'm going to nail this running back. I haven't been that way since Chase Brown when he was free. But we'll see. Tentative.
Yeah, I would say Caleb Johnson is a perfectly fine 15th round pick in the very last round if you need to take a shot on a running back who could be fantasy relevant at some point. Rafi Bomb 69. Hey, just getting on the stream, broskies, at bowling, LOL. Some pretty nice startup teams. My first actual startup draft. We love to see it, Rafi. And I think he did really well for a first startup draft, getting a nice, healthy mix of rookies in with some veterans. Still believing in Juwan Jennings, which is a bit of a shock to me. But in the 10th round, do you really hate that pick? And then grabbing Mac Jones as a third quarterback who, for whatever reason, could see some relevance in a Superflex league. So let's take a look at Rafi 69 Bomb's team, though, Kendall. Starting from at least the first 10 rounds, what do you think?
What do I think through 10? Going with the spicy pick on Genty, I'll just throw it. I'm definitely a Hampton and Achane over Genty, unfortunately. But it's close. I do like... Again, we got no QBs through 6. That's kind of the style I want to play. I want to go mid-tier quarterbacks for the most part. These are risky, though. I don't love Bryce Young as my second quarterback. That feels that feels pretty spicy. I do think there's what was he hoping came back? I don't love that Bryce Young's QB2. I think that's the biggest thing that sets this team up. Is Bryce Young hits a really bad year, I think we're gonna have to overpay. So I think we rework that a little bit. But where we got Tet, fantastic. I think me and you are pretty in on Lad McConkey. So hopefully that comes to fruition a little bit. Got super young later on, no problems there. I might have gone a different route with Jennings. Knowing that Bryce Young's my QB2, I think when I look at Jennings at 10-3, I think going with a safety pick in JJ McCarthy probably helps shore up the Bryce Young. Between Bryce Young and JJ, it gives you a little bit of pivotability, which I think I would have done. But outside of specifically being a little more aggressive on quarterback, I like that quite a bit. Also, great value on Tyler Warren. I think when you see where Brock Bowers went compared to Warren, I think Warren's probably going to be on the up and up a little bit. I don't think he pops the way those guys can, but in tight end premium, I think that's pretty good value, right? I expected Warren to go soon after Loveland, and the fact that he went a little bit later, so that's nice. I like his first 5 rounds a little bit better than his next 5, but I like the build order. I think we got to spend some money on quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not looking to win now, I don't necessarily hate this squad where you could potentially finish near, depending on your dynasty league setup, finish near the bottom, get in the consolation bracket, win the number 1 overall pick, and then just keep building from here. I mean, Shuck and Young, like, I think they're just enough to get you by fantasy wise. You might not be winning a lot of games with both, but they've shown that there are upside weeks in which they can win you some close weeks. So I don't know. I think I could argue that these are not completely horrendous quarterback picks. At least they're going to get some playing time, unlike Mac Jones, who is probably going to be sticking with the 49ers. They do not want to trade him. I think that's fantastic for stability. And if something happens to Brock Purdy, you've got yourself a third startable quarterback there.
Yeah, I mean, I like that a lot too, right? It solves it later on, right? I mean, Troy Franklin was such a chalky pick. I thought about it there, but potentially going Brissett over Troy, like adding just one more layer to it. There's a couple pick order things there. But again, none of the picks look bad. I think Tyler Algier in 12 was a great pick, like really, really good pick. He could go somewhere and be better than J.K. Dobbins, like right away without the injury history, right? If you see how some people go, yeah, that could hit in a pretty good. If you think David Montgomery slotting in as RB2 behind Gibbs, what was effective. Watch what Tyler Algier can do when he's not behind Bijan. Like literally anybody but Bijan. You put Tyler Algier up against like RJ Harvey, and I'm an RJ Harvey guy. I don't think that goes well for RJ Harvey based on what I've seen for Tyler Algier. So that seemed like a pretty nice pick to me. And Shook in the 6th, by the way. The reason I took Mendoza in the 5th is because I was like, for sure, I want at least Mendoza or Shook, and I thought they'd both be gone. But I was almost considering Shook at the 5th there. So love the Shook pick. I mean, he scores with his legs, man. He's kind of a cheat code. I think the Saints have so many issues. Like they're just not drafting a quarterback for a minute. It's not happening till 2028 minimum. And that might not be a good class. So I think Shook is going to rise up boards pretty fast. Like you could see where Purdy is right now. Like Shook, I think is going to be a poor man's Purdy, but he could climb up a little bit.
Yeah, no, I certainly don't hate that either. I want to go through Victorious's team here, being that he did take Kyler Murray and Tua Tagovailoa behind Josh Allen sitting in the first slot here. So if you're not necessarily looking to win right now and you want to take a chance on two guys who are really plummeting in their dynasty values, and we don't know what's going to happen in both of their futures, and whether or not they're going to be starting quarterbacks ever again for another NFL team. The 9th round pick for Kyler Murray and 14th round pick for Tua Tagovailoa. So I guess let's do the same format we did for Rafi 69 Bomb. First 10 rounds, being that I think the first 10 rounds are going to matter most, being that there's 5 bench. What do you think of Victorious's team, Kendall?
I like it. I like it. There's it's tough when you're grading dynasty startups, right? Because specifically there's what do I think about how the team will perform long-term from a value perspective. And there's also like based on how I draft in my own draft theory, how does that kind of work out, right? Christian McCaffrey is not really on my board as like draftable. I'll always find somebody I want ahead of him because I think he's going to be great next year too. But I want 10 years of value, not 3. But I like the pick order. I think Scadaboo and Kyron were just nice values. They fit a tier for me where it's like they are a lot better than who goes next. Like ETN and the rest of those guys next. I think Kyron and Scat are like significantly higher tiers. So he found the sweet spot on when to grab them, and then has this really nice pocket of wide receiver value where if you just have enough of them, he's going to be able to rotate through that. Whoever's hot, who is ever having it's just pure hot hand at wide receiver. So the build order worked out really, really nicely for him. I actually like the way this turned out. I think he's basically where it all falls off the trade is what if QB 2 and 3 like aren't playable, right? Then we gotta flex we gotta super flex a flex player. So the crazy thing is his roster might be deep enough to like pull that off for a little bit, if that makes sense. My only real challenge is in the next 10. I don't like the first tight end being Theo in 13. I think that's probably it. I think I would have preferred a better tight end somewhere in that wide receiver mix potentially for a little more stability.
I actually wanted to back up a little bit because you brought up a great point, Kendall. If you have to start another position in the SuperFlex slot, that's not necessarily the end of the world. A lot of people get stuck on quarterback because 9 times out of 10, you're going to stick a second quarterback in there because they have the highest chance of getting to 20 fantasy points, unlike the rest of your bench and depth and whatnot. But even if you don't get to 20 fantasy points, that's not necessarily poison for your team, right?
I don't think it is. I have 2 dynasty teams where I definitely made the choice. In this particular instance, this was I got rid of Bryce Young and I was basically down to 2 startable quarterbacks. That's it. And outside of bye weeks, there was even a little bit of injury here and there because Purdy was one of my quarterbacks. So I had like Trevor Lawrence, and that was it. Absolutely it. It was almost a day I didn't have any quarterbacks at all. I ended up getting second place in that league, and I have a young team, not a win now team. It all worked. That's the team I was telling you about the other day when we did our stream yesterday, our pre-recorded, was where I didn't care about bye weeks because the stability of my wide receiver core, along with RBs that were good through RB3. Right? Like infinite rotation. So bye weeks weren't a thing. I crushed the middle of the year. And by the time the playoffs came in, it didn't matter what happened. I could always play the hot hand or the matchup all the way through the end of the year. And I did not miss having a rotational QB3. I didn't miss that my QB2 was occasionally not playable at all. I really didn't miss it. So I think if you have to draft a certain way for it, but I think you can make it happen. And when you're going to do it, having Allen at the 101, like that's the build to do it, is when you have ultimate stability at QB1. That's when you pull it off. So good guy, I like it.
Let's do one more team here before I got to transition off and we bring in Classic Mike for the second draft. I blame Pierce. Let's take a look at his team and go through and through here. So started with Bijan, CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Hurts, Travion Henderson, Brian Thomas Jr., Jalen Waddle, Travis Etienne, Derrick Henry, Michael Penix, Michael Pittman as his first 10 picks. I love this team, actually, of the way that it starts. And then we get into the depth here. Gadsden and Andrews are his tight ends. You have Godwin, Hubbard, and Caleb. I think this is fantastic depth for a win-now team. Do you have any other reason not to believe this, Kendall?
I mean, this is interesting. This is one of those, like, Penix, if he just gets a little bit better and is just the guy for the next 5 years, like, if he's startable. If Penix is not out of the league, I really like this one. I really, really like this one a lot. I mean, yeah, Derrick Henry might be done in a year, but you look at the other guys around him, like, this is probably the best core of, like, I think this team could win right now, and I also think this team could sell off its best pieces to contenders and be set up really good for year 2. Like, this has a really nice runway, easy plan, relatively simplistic choices, value throughout. Chuba, amazing value. Johnson, amazing value. Gadsden at 11.5 for me. I think that's really, really good value. So I'm just liking a lot of the build quality. BTJ is a value pick for me. Waddle's scary, but I'm fine with it. And I think some people will hate on the Bijan at 105. I'm absolutely fine with it. I'm a big fan of. I maybe would have gone less RB heavy because I have Bijan at 1.5. I think you can throw away Etienne or Henry to maybe do something else there potentially, maybe quarterback there. Because if you're telling me, like, could I draft an RB in the 15th round and take a quarterback here and solidify? Like, if you flip Henry or Etienne with Chuba or Caleb Johnson, pretend they don't exist, I would have preferred that build. Like, if I have to nitpick and say a slight improvement, compare the running backs at 7 and 8 to what you can still get in rounds 13 and 14. It's actually not as bad of a drop-off long-term value as I think I'm realizing. And so that's the only change I'd make. But overall, I love the build. Value everywhere. Individual picks are better and good structure. I mean, Hurts in the third is his QB1. That used to be a top 5 pick, right? So if things swing back with the way the pendulum works a little bit, if BTJ goes in round 2 next year after this comeback, there's so many ways this team can win. And I like buying lottery tickets that like that.
You know what else is on I Blame Pierce's team? No rookies. So if you're looking to win now and you want to just say, fuck this year's draft class, I'm going to either trade for somebody later in the season or I'm just going to wait for the 2027 class. How do you like that strategy if this were a real Dynasty startup?
I'm fine with it. I'm very fine with it. I think with rookies right now, generally the rookie hype during draft season is more than it's been in quite some time, right? But I then think that unless an entire class pops, they tend to be somewhat cheaper later on than the startup cost in most places. So I like buying the rookies a little bit later on if you can for cheaper picks. So I'm pretty fine with it at this point in time. I'd want to take a stab here or two, partly for fun, partly for a mini skills competition with yourself, like, kind of cold shot, right? And it gives yourself probably the most upside to really hit. But I think when you get in the middle of the year, there's so many tickets to sell to other teams because they're going to produce, they're a known commodity. The trade value this team's going to have if it doesn't make the playoffs or gets injured is pretty obscene. And then it's going to draft a lot of picks in the 27 class, which we like a lot better than the 26 class. So I like the strategy.
Yeah, I think I do too. I think it's pretty phenomenal here. So in case you guys haven't seen the chat, we are going to get the second startup draft going right away. There are 2 seats left. Kendall, maybe you can confirm this if that's still the case.
Let me take a quick peek here. Yeah, I got we need the 102 and then pick 7, and we are good to go. 2 and 7. I was making sure I'm in this draft too. Yeah, okay, yeah. We need 2 and 7. We need 2 people, and we'll be ready to go. I'm looking forward to this too, man. Because now actually, I said at the intro, I don't have anybody queued. I don't have anybody starred. It's going to be an interesting little race to see how I can figure out Sleeper's ADP. So I think my second mock will be a little better than my first. Evan, in close though, how'd you feel about your team? How'd you feel about my team? Just real quick.
Yeah, so before we bring on Mike and then I sign off for the night, I was just kind of fucking around, I'm going to be honest. Like, I was kind of loosely following ADP and trying to avoid most rookies as well. I was willing to take a shot on Carnell Tate because he's expected to be pretty damn good coming out of Ohio State. But outside of that, I just stuck to players that I think people are too low on, especially older guys like Scary Terry McLaurin, who he should still be valuable at age 30. And then, Kyle Pitts, George Kittle coming off the Achilles injury, Khalil Shakir, Tony Pollard, wherever the heck he lands after. His future's up in the air with the Titans. And then Isaiah Davis, assuming Breece Hall is gone from the Jets. So, this is not necessarily a win now roster, but it's at least good enough to, maybe keep me in the consolation bracket and then just be good enough to win the consolation bracket to win the 101. And that's my mentality, though, based on my own Dynasty home league, where you have to win your consolation bracket to win the 101. Most Dynasty leagues don't even do that, which shocks me.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think it should be a little bit more prevalent. I understand the reasons why, but I'm kind of with you on it should be more.
Okay, so now that I got that out of the way, let me hide this comment and let's bring him on. Classic Mike Herrick. Classic Mike, how you doing? Long time no see too, man.
Oh, how you doing, brother?
So, did we get that last spot picked? I think somebody typed one in the chat.
We just got one left that we're trying to fill at the moment. I have one other means to do, and I will hopefully get that filled shortly.
Alrighty, I will leave you two to it. I got to get going. I got to sign off for the night. Got to do a few more things before I turn in. So, gentlemen, have a great weekend, especially Valentine's Day for the both of you. Not sure if you guys are doing anything with your wives, but have a great weekend.
Yeah, we'll see what we got time for.
Yeah,
Evan,
I know. Yeah.
Go chill, man. Have a social life, buddy. Tell us how it is.
You know it. Later, guys.
Take care, brother.
Classic.
What's going on, brother?
Dude, it's mock draft season, baby.
I know. I'm excited. First time doing a draft. It is crazy to think that we are at that point in the year that we have a draft going on. I got the screen for you guys for today. Don't you worry. I got it all queued up. We're just waiting for the last person to get in here. We don't like having these drafts with just, empty seats. We want to make sure you guys get the best experience possible, right?
See if I can pull someone. There it is. Oh, what? We lost one. Wait a minute.
No, it's Raven going back and forth.
I was like,
come on, Raven. I know.
All right, if you
know.
go back and forth fast enough, you will actually get both picks. All right, click real fast.
No, we got breaking in there.
Hey,
nice.
There we go. Oh, what a great late addition too, man. Way to be breaking. Love to hear it. How are our settings? What's a pick clock at, by the way? We went
at
just
30.
Yeah, 30 went just under an hour. But I
that's
liked
fine.
it. I didn't auto
And we're-
pick, but we were real close. Everyone
and
was
we're
picking at like
staying-
2 seconds.
We're doing 2 wide receiver, 2 flex.
3 wide. Get it
3 wide.
3 wide.
That's my bad. Okay. I was playing with fire here when I was setting up these settings.
All good. Now, I gotta get them wide receivers in there, baby. We gotta be able to
Hey,
go
no,
deep.
no, I'm good. All right, so we are set for that. Hopefully, did I do it right? Hopefully, I am set in the way. Let me just double check. All right, cool.
I think everything else looks pretty good.
Starting.
Appreciate all of you guys hanging out with us in chat. By the way, drafting with us tonight, we certainly appreciate it. It's good. It's just good to draft. It's good to get back to the draft community and hang with you boys. So that's nice.
Yes, it is, and I'm excited to be back. It is one of those things where me and Kendall have been dealing with our family lives, making sure we are all good. We got Adam Watt back. Glad to have you back there, Amber Watt. Really do appreciate it. I'm in the house today, as Rafi is saying in the chat. I think we got everybody, so let's get this fucking thing started, right? So
I think it's about that time.
Should
we give them a little countdown? 3.
Nah. Come on. These things are annoying. All right, boys and girls. Dupree, start us off there, my friend.
Yeah, dude, Def is such an abs. By the way, if any of you guys are looking to join a league, we're not sponsored by pretty much. Well, we do have some sponsors, but in terms of the leagues and the mocks and whatnot, I was gonna say Underdog. I'm not no slander to you or Trophy Smack over here, but outside of that, we don't have any league sponsors. Dep Premier is an amazing league runner. I don't know how many. I know one of the leagues I'm in is titled 083. So that this team, he commissions at least 83. Not really sure how that goes, but yeah, dude, hit him up in Sleeper Bet. He is an amazing league runner.
I love it. I love hearing that. I always, I always feel like I'm in too many leagues. This is my first Dynasty startup, if you will, for us to get this year started. So really excited to do this. I know Kendall's gonna be, you already had your experience. Got to listen to most of the show.
Yeah, buddy, I'm locked in. I still don't feel 100% there. I'm just, oh man, I wanted. It was so hard to answer comment. I feel like Evan was asking me some questions, and I was so deep into my pick order that I was like, what was the question?
No, because you're trying to look at that, like you were saying, the ADP is all messed up right now because there is no ADP because no one's really out there picking, and this is a first mock for many, and we're going to start getting into Dynasty drafting a little bit more as we go along. I mean, this is Dynasty season, as you know.
Okay, I get to take a quarterback here. I am absolutely tripling down on, like, I'm probably taking position players through 3 rounds in most Dynasty startups, I think.
Yeah. Vike is going, I'm still in 2025. These 26 drafts are messing me up. Yeah, man, it's tough thinking about it. I've been after every year I try to think about what we're going to be what I'm going to be getting into next year, and my rookie drafts I don't really care about a lot because a lot of my leagues I tend to trade off a lot prior to, and unless I'm at
Williams
the top.
at the 110. Oh, Aiden, my guy.
Oh yeah, they're going to snipe you guys for all your bears. You know how that is. Oh, okay. So
That's what's 083 then? That's how it should be. It's got the numbers in there.
I'm assuming 83 is when he was born. That's gonna be my guess. The 83 is his.
Okay, I am not taking
born.
a quarterback here. What do we take though?
I don't know.
Take a quarterback.
This is the fun. This is the fun of Dynasty startups, is trying to figure out what way you're gonna go, and it's so hard to not go QB. It's just so hard because people go on quarterback runs after the 3rd, 4th round, and then you're stuck with garbage. So you really want to play it really close if you can, but it's so hard not to take running back. It's so hard not to, take on certain situations. And right now we're at that point. I'm getting that right as we get to the 210 here.
Who do you hope
Oof.
falls to you right now?
I don't know.
We're gonna get sniped anyway, but who? Because
Yeah.
you're a QB guy, and there's a big QB.
No,
run
I'm not.
technically on the
Honestly, I'm
board.
really not a big QB guy. Honestly, I rather have most of the guys at the end of the drafts. You know, those older guys that are a little bit more consistent, a little bit more on their game.
You
know,
do like your Jared Goffs more than most people.
I am
think, yeah.
the opposite of I'm Matt Rife comparatively to your Leonardo DiCaprio, if you will.
So true.
I like the older people, the older group. I just a smidge more than normal. I like having guys that are a little bit more on the veteran side than on the rookie side. Even in these startup drafts, I'm not a big rookie guy. I'm not going to I don't feel comfortable grabbing a lot of these rookies at the 211 or the the 3-2 or the 4. Like I'm not grabbing them there. Like I just can't do it. I don't have that ability to do that because it just doesn't feel right in my opinion. I rather be going with guys that are, a little bit younger, a little bit more, oh, this is a tough one for me. This is
I was
probably
like, yeah, you feel free to talk it. I thought this was going to happen.
This is the toughest pick for me. This is really the toughest pick for me.
I think Classic has Herbert ranked higher than Dart.
I'm just going to do it.
His heart says
I have to. No, I have to do it. I have to do it because I know that I have an opportunity. So when I'm at the end of a draft, especially in like the 3 or 2, 1, 2, 3, or anywhere in that that turn, I feel a little bit better about going QB than I do about the concept of actually grabbing, like because some people will tend to do the wide receiver or a running back just to make sure that they have at least one of the elites because they need that person. And to be fair, I'm like that. I'm a very big wanting to have that hero running back or hero wide receiver type situation. Here is tough, man. I am seriously perturbed at what I might have to do here because I have a feeling who's going to land at me. Yeah, see, this is where I'm stuck. This is where, yeah.
Ooh, actually, this is kind of weird. Dude, I think you just got to hit flex and then you'll just feel better about it.
No, I'm not even going to look at that. I can't because I don't like Lemon at this point because that's who they have at the ADP. And I like Lemon, but I don't want Lemon.
Not buying a Lemon. Going with JT, forcing yourself into the win now, team. Here we go.
And that's my problem. That's my biggest
JT
problem.
is a nice handcuff guy, though. You can't. I mean, I feel like his backup is pretty underrated. Had a rough season last year, but I liked him from a talent perspective.
Who, DJ Giggins?
Yeah. I like.
Yeah, I mean,
Giggins.
he just never wasn't on the field. They never put him on the field. I mean, they always put Abdullah on over him, and Abdullah tended to get more run than he did throughout the year. So it seems as if they're either trying to hold him back or they're trying to do something else. So, my biggest issue this time of year, especially right now, like I'm going to love doing these after March 17th. Like I'm not a fan of doing these prior to the free agency picks because I have no idea where I'm going to pick certain guys because all these guys, there's a good amount of people on this list that are going to be free agents that I'm just gonna be like, oh, I have no idea, but because I know they're going to go somewhere else. And I just don't know where that is. But as soon as Victorious goes, where are the tight ends at? Of course, the top 2 go off the board.
Dude, I was like, Vike, man, wait till I make a pick, buddy. Don't tip the cap. I wanted any of the top 3. If I have to take my beloved Bear in Loveland, I will.
Yeah, I mean, it really works out if you can get those guys. I mean, the take going at 3 or at 4-3, I like for the most part. It's just according to where he goes. I'm just nervous about his particular landing. I see a lot of conversation about him going to the Giants at 5. I just don't agree with that pick. I would love for Neighbors to have somebody young to be like right there and have that extra wide receiver to help him. But he would have to be developing and it would take him a year or two. Then we have conversations about, getting downs or, alignment. So for the Giants, it's so hard, for that particular pick. And I can't do it yet. Like I don't know if I'm there yet, you know.
Hey,
We'll see.
I hear you. Trying to think what I would do with your pick. So QBs
I
are
know what I'm
close
doing
for
here.
you.
Like I have a feeling of what's going to happen.
I'm thinking of a name.
I already know what I'm doing.
It's got a lot of vowels.
No, I already know what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm glad that it fell to me.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to tip it too much, but like,
No, I'm glad that
like miles away.
I'm glad that it was able to fall in that perspective. I have my other choice that is going to be coming around the bend right here, and I'm pretty confident that he will, unless these two are going to really read my brain here. But I have two guys that I'm really big on that I feel that I'm gonna feel it's gonna feel good. So we got Red McMuffin. What's going on? He goes, hey, it looks like you're broadcasting in shorts mode. Need full screen. So there are two streams, just so that you're aware. One is in a mobile form, so you'll see a little telephone next to it, or you're going to see one without it. If you go to the one that's without it, that will bring you there. It looks like you're currently looking at it through your mobile. If you're looking at it through your mobile, unfortunately, you don't have any other option because they will only do the mobile move.
If you go to the channel and just look at live, you should be able to flip flop and pick which one looks
so
good.
Thankfully,
let us know if that works though. By the way, I'm the least tech savvy guy out there, but I'll try.
I'm going to be the first to tell you. I was upstairs while I was getting ready for everything. I was taking care of the little one, and I wanted to turn the show on, so I turned it on my TV. And when I did, I hit the mobile one, and I'm like, "What the hell is this?" I'm like, "I have to watch it this way." And I'm like, "Wait a minute!" And I changed the channel, or I changed the stream, and it brought me right where I needed to be. So that's how I do it. So it's a little nerve-wracking. I don't fully like it, but we try to do it both because it's just a way to help on both platforms, and so you just got to hit the right one, which is it's difficult, and it's all right. Anyway, the guy that I wanted, or at least one of the two that I wanted, I had two in my brain. At least one of them fell to me, and that was Junkins. It was him or Breece Hall. Really interested in what Breece Hall can do on another team, because that seems to be the consensus. He's going somewhere else. Yeah, I mean,
dude, I'm stoked. I got him at 5. I got him in the 5th last round. No, I got him. I got Breece Hall 6th last.
Oh wow! Well, he went.
Breece like 6-6 because I got Mendoza in the 5th.
Okay.
Although if I had to redo this though, man, I would definitely rather take a position player at 4-4 and draft Mendoza or Love here. So I made a little bit of a mistake. I thought between Rafi, Duarte, and Doc Watson, I'd have a big multi-round QB run. So first mistake, and I hate, I don't like Bo Nix very much. So this is painful that I could have had Mendoza.
I love Bo Nix. I'll trade you in the offseason.
Oh man. Okay. Jeez, I have no running backs. I am in trouble.
Well, and as Victorious has said, there's a couple teams that are going 0 QB, which is nice to see. We got at least 2 teams right now, one being his own.
Dude, I might be going 0 RB.
Dude. I actually love the teams that do this. I mean, it really is interesting. Red Muffin, yes, that worked. I can see the picks now. Thanks. I also am in the middle of a startup like this. Hey, man, love it. Love it. So glad that you were able to get that fixed up and be able to watch us. We're here to help you. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. This is our first one of the year, so we are flying by the seat of our pants, just trying to get an understanding of what's out here, what's out there, and doing, whatever you need to do. So
yeah, Red, definitely. If you're not in our Discord, man, during draft season, like we're one of the most draft centric startup drafts of all kind channel for sure. Yeah. If you're up in the Discord, all of it, we've been known to write several books out there going through your pick. Oh my god! Well, I mean, I've been starting to write a little bit. You've been known to go on a little tangent.
I can go on tangents if
you're going to have to, because you're going to be talking a lot of your Giants this year.
I know.
I mean, I guess I'm just like, it's the first time I actually get to take him, so all right, I kind of have to. There's a rule if Rome is on
all right. I know. I was going to say, that's a rule for you and for Evan. So John goes, we expect Junkins to be back for week 1, that leg break. Yeah, I think he should be okay.
Yeah, I think Samson's about to be ready to go week 1, baby. I almost see where he goes. I am so in.
I'm a little nervous about the whole scenario, but he's a 22-year-old running back. I feel better about it. Now, granted, I am mostly running back focused when I do a lot of these drafts. So, to be fair, he's not like, I don't consider him my running back 2 at this point, if that makes sense. I consider him somebody that I can use as a person that could do well. Now, I forgot off the top of my head who they pick up this year, the Browns instead of Stefanski. Who's their number 1 now? I just had this.
Oh, who did they pick up? And I've been so off the Browns.
I know. No, I've been watching. I can't keep up with all these freaking
Munkin. Yeah, they got Munkin.
Oh, they got Munkin.
That's right.
Yeah, well, at least I know they'll focus on the run a little bit, so that makes me a little bit happy. But we'll see how it goes. I love
that pick. I was gonna pick Scadaboo was my auto pick at 6'4", but you know the rules. If Rome is there, have to take the Rome. And let's see. Who also doesn't have a running back? Me, Aiden doesn't have a running back. It's just me and Aiden, I think.
You guys are...
no, Kitty Fisher. Kitty Fisher's doing 0 RB2. Let's see who can 0 our 0 RB.
You guys are going to be losing out on some picks here.
Oh, dude, I'm already
I'm already gonna tell you that.
I'm looking down to pick 180s to figure out how the running backs I'm gonna take in round 11, 12, 13, and 14. This will be interesting.
I don't like this pick. Oh,
it's gonna feel great. You're gonna love it.
I don't like it.
No, I hate that you took it because I wanted him next round.
I know.
That's just mean.
I know.
That's mean,
I know.
Man.
It hurt. It hurt my soul. It hurt my inner soul.
I mean, I hope it hurt a little bit. Thankfully, there's a decent amount of RBs I like later, so I can make this work. We're gonna make it work.
My biggest issue with it is not that he was a Cowboy. It's the concept that I didn't feel good about it in general. He's just a younger running back that did well for him coming back off of injury and everything. Everybody was really down on him. So I feel a little bit better about it, but I'm not sold. Make sure you guys are listening to Evan in there. He's telling you guys to make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Please do.
Yeah, dude. Tell them how it is. Man, seriously, it helps. We are absolutely begging on our knees, man. It helps so much. Helps a few people find us, and maybe one day me and Mike can pay a utility bill, pick up a pack of diapers. That would be awesome. It would be so cool. So we appreciate that.
Our kids go through at least 8 diapers a day. Come on now, help us out.
I mean, I will at my 4-year-old and the younger ones. They will absolutely draw you a picture, and we will send that to you in the Discord if you subscribe. All right. I appreciate that. Going with your boy Cortland Sutton. Were you gonna snap pick Stroud if he made it to you at 7?
Maybe. I wasn't really looking at QB there. That wasn't really where I was looking. You guys kind of ate up all the wide receivers I was trying to get to, and I wasn't really a fan of everything. I kind of picked him out of off a whim. I'm a very big fan of him. If he stays in Denver, I think he's even better, and it just makes him a better option for me. But if he goes elsewhere, he's still a really solid wide receiver I think he still has a ton of juice left. You guys can say otherwise, but I've thoroughly enjoyed watching him play. There's a lot of picks for me for wide receiver that I can get a ton of value with. So that's why I don't stress too much about it. And him going this early doesn't really scare me, especially now that I see the QB run, because I'm not looking at QB. So at least that kind of helps me out for one round. It kind of gives me a little bit of a buffer. I don't love the pick, but it's, I think one of the guys that I'm looking for is coming back. I think I have 2 guys that might be available when I get back, but we'll see.
One of them will, because I'm thinking about picking them, but I'm gonna pick another guy. Oh no!
See, I can't do it this year.
Mike,
this year feels gross. It felt gross. I had him all year, brother, and I could not stomach the year. I love Ricky Purcell. I thought he's a very solid wide receiver. I just can't. The amount of injuries he sustained throughout that year just doesn't want, like, it just doesn't. I just can't do it. That PCL injury killed him.
Dude,
it really did.
I mean, I do have to take, like, I legally have to take a running back at some point, right?
I'm surprised you haven't yet.
Like,
I mean, you want to go zero RB?
I
Enjoy,
can't
but
do it yet. I mean, I literally can't do it. I feel like
you're gonna be picking from the Alvin Kamaras and the James Connors of the world.
Let's get crazy.
Oh, nice pick. I don't mind that pick.
I want to create a little tight end run with that. You know, remind everybody, a little TEP action. Get in there. There's some guys at the top of the board. Now I need you to take them in stride. You know,
you got the QB, you got the tight end too last year. I mean, hey,
I need. I didn't mind Laporta too, but I'm hoping that Laporta, Sadiq, and honestly, I think Kincaid's kind of a value this year. Like, that team is always going to put up 30 points a game, and I feel like Kincaid actually still has room to grow. I've been liking Kincaid in this next range, so I can't draft anymore. So I'm just going to tell you guys who you should pick here. Like, Kincaid's good. Honestly, Gadsden is going. Gadsden's pick 142 in sleeper.
You just want this to be a full-on run down so that you don't have to worry about that position.
Yes, I absolutely. Guys, get some tight ends off the board. Help me out here,
we
man.
don't need tight ends off the board.
Oh man, it's just crazy because I still have to take like another 2 wide receivers, and then it's going to be RB central. I will not take an RB in the first 10.
And I'm so mad at myself because there are running backs that I like here, and I can't take it because it would just be stupid to. And I have to go with a guy that I have been talking up more than anybody because I know he's going to get paid, and I don't care where he plays, he's still going to do well. I had to do it. I knew
that was your pick for sure. I'm all about it. Yeah. I wanted to take him because I have neighbors, and actually I kind of like that. But I went three QBs already. I've got no room in my build for him. I really
wanted to go. I really wanted to go the Henry route, and like, of course he.
You got Herbert too, man. You got Dish there.
I know I did, but you know what? It doesn't scare me. It's not upsetting. I'm not like crazy upset at it. It was what I was looking to do.
Oh no, you're fine. I mean, look, Sadiq and Kincaid.
This is where I have to pivot a smidge, and I'm okay with the pivot because I see a couple guys that's going to make it back to me. I'm just gonna make this pick,
Woody,
because we don't know what the hell's going on.
He's getting priced. You're pricing him right though, right? I mean,
he's a decent price. We don't know what's gonna go on with Joe Mixon. I'm assuming that Joe is gonna get cut next year. I'm just not there yet. You know, I gotta look at. Let me look at his situation real quick with his money, because if his money's all messed up, then maybe they keep him. But let me see, Joe. Let's see what Joe's doing. Oh no, they're cutting him. He gone. He does not. He has no guarantee next year. His cap number is 10. If they cut him, they only lose $2 million. So he gone. They save 10 million, or they save 8 million cutting him. So he's gone next year. Woody's there. Woody did well for the most part. They got to build up that line. You know, they just need to build that particular line.
Oh wait, it's 9. Can I take it? Am I allowed to? No, I'm gonna hold out. I want to take a running back so bad, but I can't do it.
I'd do it.
Okay, we're gonna take. Do I go upside or consistency here? Shoot.
So Dupreme, I love taking running back in most scenarios. I have like pretty much in most of my dynasty leagues. The ones that I have grabbed in one way or another, I am usually running back heavy. You know, me and Kendall, I still got to post the show. I didn't do it yet, but me and Kendall did a show of my salary cap dynasty league, and I have like the top. I think I have five running backs in the top 12 from last year. So,
right, yeah, not bad,
not bad at all.
Not half bad.
You know, I'm pretty good at finding those. Like at least doing my best to make sure I have those types of running backs on my team.
Right after we stopped doing like more sports betting on the show is when you absolutely would have slaughtered it. So Vegas convinced you not to bet. They figured us out, man.
I'm not really a big bettor anyway. I always feel like I'm going to just lose too much money and it's not worth it. Now I have two guys that I'm hoping that are going to get back. We'll see how it goes. I don't think one of them comes back, but I have faith. I have faith, and I have two pivots, so I'm happy. So we'll see.
All right, definitively, I took the latest running back. Right, that's a thing.
No, Oh, you mean as like a 0 RB build?
Yeah, right. I think so.
You are the. Yes, you are now.
Yes. Okay.
Because
build order complete, man.
Manungai, interesting.
Yeah, baby, I love me some Manungai.
I don't mind Manungai. He was one of my choices on my list. See, this is where things get a little fishy and a little over the top for me. This is going to be a gross run right here. I'm praying what I want happens. We'll see. But I am... Oh, you son of a bitch.
I was considering Jaden Higgins over Xavier Worthy, and it's
God damn it.
Correct. That's
I was hoping. He got so close.
Dude,
he
really
was
did.
so close, but yet so far. Screw you, John.
Dude, that was a money pick, man. I like that.
Oh, that was such a it was right there for the taking. I was so happy. I was like, oh, he's definitely gonna. Son of a bitch. You're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Let's see. Is Moore a free agent next year?
DJ?
Yeah.
He's got one more year on his deal.
He's got one more. That bastard.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, but is he in the conversation of being outskied?
I don't know, man. I feel like teams that are this successful usually keep it going. And I think statistically, they just don't end up trading the player, right? I think we should, because Burden needs to get on the field more. I don't think we'll run as many 2 tight end sets, but yeah, I think Komet has to go. In my opinion, it's like I want DJ Moore gone mostly for fantasy football purposes. Yeah, cokehead, baby. I
had to. I am. Well, yeah. I'm not a cokehead, but I'm a cokehead when it comes to. I'm a cokehead when it comes to fantasy.
Yeah, Jalen. Oh man, I'm super in on Jalen Coker this year. I think him and Tet can actually make a pretty good 1-2 duo there.
I agree. I have him. I have him ranked a little higher than a lot of other people. And I have him on pretty much most of my dynasty teams that I can afford him. He is definitely somebody I enjoy having on my team in one way or another. He is something different that I haven't seen, and he passes the eye test for me. And honestly, to be fair, a lot of times when I'm playing fantasy football, it's the eye test that tends to win over a lot of the other things. Like, I get you can do snap percentages and targets and all that bullshit, and I look at that too, but he is a big part of that, and he's a restricted free agent next year. I'm hoping they keep him. Or wait, what is he? He is a what is an E? Never seen an E restricted free agent. What is that?
On the wow, look at that running back run. Oh boy.
Oh, him and Trace Tremaine or Breeson Tremaine. I don't know what that means. Somebody in the chat, if you know what it is, let me know. What is an ERFA? I know what an unrestricted. I know what a restricted free agent is, but I do not know what an ERFA is.
What is that? Exclusive rights.
Oh, okay. So they have exclusive rights to him. Got it. Appreciate you there, Red McMuffin. I love that name. I think that's a clever title.
Chuba, great. Oh my goodness. Last round, Chuba got snuck down to the 15th round.
Oh wow.
It was pretty great.
Red McMuffin, if you have red hair, that will just make your
right after. That
will just make your whole username better.
Oh, it's me. Oh, I get my guy. Thank God. Let's get it.
Oh, toot. Little toot.
If I get all my favorite like 0 RB targets here, that's super fun, man. I dig it. I dig this build a lot. There it is.
Another ginger. We got three on the show. I love it.
Oh, Doc, great pick. That was what I was deciding between. Gainwell, sneaky good, man. Sneaky good. Gainwell could easily hit like the not so much the Chuba pathway, but I think the like how Dowdle came out of nowhere and it's just kind of going to be a thing for like a minute. I think, you know.
Do you think they're going to be keeping Rodgers in one way or another?
Actually, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I only because it's the most Steelers thing to do.
Yeah.
Right? Like, forget what they should or shouldn't do. Just think, what are the Steelers going to do? Kick the can down the road? Get rid of the head coach. It doesn't matter. The Steelers are going to do Steelers shit.
But do you think, see, and this is another thing that I hate of the offseason, because what's going to happen is it's going to be the offseason Aaron Rodgers, like, carousel bullshit. So we're not going to know anything until much later in the season. He's not going to make a decision until much later. If anybody watched the documentary on him, which I strongly suggest people should do, I watched that thing a couple times and really enjoyed it. It was just a very fun, very enlightening type of conversation that you get to see him in his own element. Now, granted, he's making that his, like, he's the one that is currently making that whole particular documentary. So I understand it. I find it interesting of who he was, and you get to learn a little bit about him. And I don't know. I thought I saw something where I got to understand who he was and what he does and how he does things. Oh, that's not a good one. Oh, there we go.
Oh, I can fix it up. We can.
No, you're good. I did that before, and I
can move us up to the top.
Oh no, we're good. We moved it. Perfect.
Are you good? Cool.
Yeah. But I thought it was an interesting way to look into his life and a way to kind of understand him, even though no one really likes him. But Victorious goes, I think they keep Rodgers and it ends up screwing up Caleb Johnson, most likely. I think it was probably Rodgers and not Arthur Smith keeping him off the field. Oh, 110%.
Hey, there we go. Anthony Richardson. I don't mind that as a spicy pick, man. I don't mind it. Get it queued. Oh, my guy. He took him. He was buried. I was supposed to get him.
I saw him.
What a pick, baby.
I saw him, and he was definitely on my radar around this pick. I have to kind of go off script a little bit because I have to.
Dude, I love the Coker pick followed by Chimere DK, man. Oh,
I know.
Man.
I love the
Trey
DK.
Harris. What a great pick. I thought for sure I was going to get Trey Harris probably next round. And Kitty Fit, the Malik Willis and Chambliss picks, by the way. I know quarterbacks are going later than they would in a real dynasty startup. 100%.
Yeah, I would have probably grabbed a QB already.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're like rounding out builds and pretending they're all gone, which I totally get. But man,
for those that are new to these, most dynasty startups are not 15 rounds. They are normally 20, 25 rounds. So just know that in advance.
Yes, indeed. What am I going to do here? Do I
Will
just
Howard the keys? Come on,
right?
Will Howard is not ready yet.
Chugging. Do I have any RBs left that I care about? Yeah, I guess I got a few, huh? Dude, I guess I want to stop taking running back, but I can't.
So he is returning to college for the 6th season. He ended up winning that particular.
He won the thing. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was some court case, and he ended up winning it. So, I mean, it's dynasty, though. If he's on the board and you're able to get him, and you're getting him this late, who cares? Then you get him for a steal. I don't know.
All right, I got to break from the running back and grab my other upstart youngin here.
Oh, so yeah, So what's the deal with Chambliss? He goes, if he goes back to school, what do you do if he gets drafted in a startup now? Treat him like a Devy player. I would assume you would. I would think that it would be something I would, as a commissioner, if you're doing any startup now, to kind of make people aware of it prior to, so that it isn't a issue. But if it happens that way, then then they were going to automatically have to put them on taxi or something. So, because there's no other way you can handle that type of scenario.
It's a commissioner problem. I mean, like, if I'm commissioner, I almost never commissioner. Like, I just have no time. But if and when I did, or if I was taking commissioner duties as co-commissioner, like running the draft, I would just pause the draft immediately if you take him and say,
just
like,
let the guy.
He's ineligible. Like, you cannot draft him. I'm not doing a like, oh, but like I want to take him and like, what if I get value on him next year? It's like, it's not a game we're playing. It's not allowed. It's just Sleeper should fix it soon. Just give it a couple days.
So Kitty Fisher knows that he made the mistake and he goes, oops, good 2027 pick. Right. I think that's funny. I mean, I agree. It's one of those things that I'm either pausing it if it's I'm pausing the draft if it's a slow draft and just yanking him out and telling him, no, you're doing something else. Or I'm just letting everybody know in advance, please don't pick him. And of course, someone in the league will. It's just part of how life is. Raven goes, as a Ravens fan, I love to see Will Howard. Fair. I'll give you that. Raven goes, take Mason Taylor everywhere while he's still a Jet.
Chef's kiss. I blame Perk.
I don't blame you. I would take him every day too, but I wouldn't in real life. If we were doing this as a real startup, I am not taking him until like 2 or 3 rounds later.
Really? If this is tight end premium, he's not even.
Tight end premium, then maybe I'd take him sooner. Yeah.
I think he's nice. Plus, you got to remember NFL pedigree from his dad, which means he knows media training early. He knows not to do off the field nonsense.
There's one guy that I'm really surprised.
Super young, by the way. Taylor, this is why I liked Taylor with Loveland as well. They are the youngest tight ends in that class. They were like 20 when they came into the league. I think Taylor was 21, but a young 21. He's got so much room. Barner, what up? Pick.
Why?
Dude, classic.
Why did anybody leave him for me?
Oh my God. Classic. I really, really like your draft. Oh my good. I mean, you know me, like Sutton's too old. He doesn't exist for me, but the rest of your draft is absolutely beautiful.
Oh, believe me, that was more of I had 30 seconds and I had no idea who to go with. And he was the first person that I saw. So I was like it's worth it at that point.
Dude, Mason Taylor is going to be this year's like Sam Laporta. I'm calling. I'm like fading Sam Laporta, and I'm in on Taylor for sure. I think he's early season. He's going to be like a weird version of Tyler Warren. He doesn't have that dog in him like Warren, but I think he's just going to be used on a lot of routes.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like Mason Taylor a lot. See, no. I'm going to be very clear here. Very clear. Eli Arroyo, yes, he is there. But did you see Arroyo on the field for any of the Super Bowl? I didn't. And if he wasn't involved. AJ Barner is the guy. They like him the most. They use him the most. He is somebody that people are sleeping on, and I love it because I will take him in any draft I possibly can because of that. He is one of those guys that I am just sold on as being, as Kendall said, the next Sam Laporta type, where he has been hidden in that depth chart, behind guys like Noah Fant and when Noah was good. And then he just comes out of nowhere and just starts playing ball. Sam Darnold loves throwing to the tight end, and he's been doing well with that. And Barner is a good safety valve. They use him on the first down, push bull crap that they do. I love it. He is a solid tight end. Love him a lot. I do think Eli Arroyo is a good receiver, and he's very talented, but he can't do the other things that Barner can do.
Yeah, I completely agree. Scott, that's UConn. That's Mr. UConn
Who's
himself.
this Skylar Bell guy, and why is he being a top guy in the ADP for the last 7 rounds?
The rookies are all over the place. I think
I don't
he's
know.
overrated,
I
though,
haven't.
but he had a good senior year, man. He
Okay.
caught 100 balls and he had like 1,300 yards, something like that. But I know he's a UConn guy, which I don't watch UConn college football, so
Yeah,
I
I was
couldn't
gonna
tell
say.
you what the ramifications are that much. But I know he had a pretty good year.
Yeah, I gotta look into. I'm not even into the rookies, other than like the top 2 of every class. I know the Mike Washingtons and the Tate and Lemon and stuff, and I follow a lot of really good, talented creators that know what they're doing and know more about them. Shane Hellman is one of my favorite. If you don't follow him already, you should. He is one of the best. I need to get him back. He will be more than welcome to come on the show, and he knows that. He is always welcome.
Shane Allen?
Oh yeah,
I just read a really good article he wrote the other day on his Dynasty buy sells. Very nice article. Definitely go check it out. Great writer.
He is also in line for a FSW, so he is a finalist as well. He is a great guy. We've had him on the show a bunch. He's done a bunch of drafts in the beginning. Really great that we were able to get in touch years ago, and love keeping in touch now. Other guys, my buddy Fantasy Nerd Boy on X, great. He's just one of those guys that just knows what he's talking about. His group with Dynasty Degens, they do a really good job with Dynasty breakdowns of Devi guys. Devi Royale with Kevin Coleman, they do a great job with all these new guys coming in. They have breakdowns. They do their own. They have their stub stacks and stuff like that. Go support them as well. I'm never going to tell you guys never to. I'm always going to tell you guys to go support everybody else. They are wonderful people all over the fantasy space. Raven goes, when Isaiah likely ends up on the Chiefs, that last round dart throw at him going to look insanely good. Hey, man, everyone keeps saying he's coming to the Giants, so I don't know what you're talking about. Every guy I see for free agency just keeps saying that he's going to be a Giant. I'm like, I hope not. I like him, but I like Theo. I think he's pretty solid.
Agreed, man. Agreed.
Oh my God, I didn't even notice that. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that's going to be a rough choice there. I think they're going to have a lot going on with that. With Jonathan Brooks, it's going to be tough.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I kind of like Brooks as like I don't see elite upside, but I do feel like Brooks is going to play in the NFL. I think he's going to have an okay role. Right.
I don't know.
I don't mind it. The only thing I don't like, I would be much happier because I think you can pop him on IR for a while. I don't actually know what happens next year, but there's the roster space. Like there's a chance he starts next year on the pup and stuff like that. So you might get that extra roster spot pick up.
That's if he doesn't develop, and that's if he's not cleared by then. But I think his thing happened early enough that he should be ready for training camp. So I don't see that happening. But if they lose Dottle and they go with him and Hubbard,
I think that's the plan. Dowdle needs a bag, dude. He
definitely does. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things where they're gonna have to figure out what to do with him, what to do with Jonathan Brooks. But I do think, unfortunately, he is he's a bust if you want to consider him, based on where everyone thought he would be at this time of his career. I just don't see it. I don't see him coming back.
So tough. We never got to see him on the field.
Understood. I was against him in the beginning. I really wasn't a big fan because he was coming off the ACL, in general, and I was like, it's very hard to. Everyone wanted to draft him in like the top 3 or 4 rounds. Like I'm like, no, like.
I'm gonna throw some names at you real quick. All right, just memory lane this a little bit, okay?
All right.
Okay. Javonte Williams, massive injury, totally toast. He's coming back. He's doing a thing. We buried Javonte in drafts for 2 full years before we had. I neither did too. I was fully in on him the whole time.
I was on him from the beginning.
Right. J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. is a very
multiple crazy injuries, and he's still made it happen.
Yeah, but he's a freak of nature. Continue.
Trey Benson, crazy injured in college,
And then
the
he gets injured
NFL.
in the NFL.
He's still going to be the guy, though.
Nah.
Probably.
Well, they have no other choice because James Conner is on his last legs, unfortunately, and after his injury, he's screwed. I get it. He's gone through 2 injuries right off the gate. Will he be somebody that people forget and then maybe he could break out? Sure, but it's going to be after he's cut and after it goes to another team like Javonte Williams and some other team taking advantage of something. I'm just not on board with it. If someone else wants to deal with that, to me, it's a landmine. Enjoy. I'm just not there yet. Just not there yet.
We'll have to see. I can't say I'm spicy on him. I'm not like, I don't know where the market's at on him. If I'm the guy that's high on Jonathan Brooks, though, I mean, just bury me already. I can't have that on my record right now. But if I have to be that guy, I'll say that I think he's a little cheap based on who he's going around. In my opinion, right? Like there's.
You're getting him at the end of the draft.
So we'll see. Yeah,
he's at the end of the draft. I'm okay with it. Like, yeah, it's not like the problem I had with him was the same problem I had with Kyle Pitts when he was drafted. Everybody was drafting him in the first 3 rounds when he was coming out of college because of he's a unicorn. Like I get it. An elite player. All these generational talent. Like, come on. Like I get it. But at the end of the day, he was not worth the pick that you wanted for that type of history. But a guy like Jonathan Brooks coming off of the injury, people were drafting him in like the top 5 rounds. And I'm sitting there like, you do realize he's not going to play until like October. And then he didn't end up playing until like November-ish.
Yeah.
And
he needed to be more risk averse there. That's one of those, like, it could hit, but don't play that risky at RB, right? No. Do that with Christian McCaffrey in redraft, but don't do it in a dynasty startup. The value bleed is just, you got to insulate value and be as safe as possible. You can take risks in the 2nd round pick of your rookie draft at a running back, but don't do it in like that early in a dynasty startup, right? It's just very, very different value curve there. So we'll have to
100%.
See. Doc Watson, just real quick here, buddy. This always happens in these types of short builds where we're only going 15 rounds and we don't go deep bench.
Yeah,
a lot of people are just like, well, technically the best player available is still quarterback, but some people start rounding out rosters and saying, I would normally take the quarterback here, but I want to build regular, right? And not have too many people that are like, well, I guess I'm going to have 4 quarterbacks. Usually I'm that guy that'll price check and be like, I never play for year 1 anyway, so if I end up with 5 quarterbacks and I'm going to wheel and deal, it's going to look like a messed up mock draft, but ask anybody that plays with me, watch what happens by the end of the year. After 17 transactions, fully rebuilt roster, literally won't recognize it. So just know that's going to get ironed out. The more we do these drafts, the more I think that's going to get adjusted properly.
100%.
People are just doing this for build. So when you look at like where Malik Willis went in this draft and stuff like that, that's going to be significantly higher later on for sure. So take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I mean, if this was a real draft, I'm probably, instead of Sutton, I'm taking, Tyler Shuck, and then, making my team a little bit different as I go around. I mean, this is just my first time trying to get an idea of what I can draft, and I always like having a little bit of a veteran presence on my team that can hold positions comparatively. So in this case, I wanted to have the strong QB room comparatively. Yeah, so I get it.
You are strong there. Got sniped on all your stacks, but you are absolutely.
I'll take Harris. I'll take Harris late.
Yeah, I'm with you. Hey, should we break down a couple rosters before we call it a night? By the way, guys, in the chat, if you want your team broken down, man, make sure you like the stream and let us know. Otherwise, we'll probably break down each other's teams and we'll look at a couple here. Mike, did you have any builds that like during the draft spoke to you a little bit without analyzing kind of everyone's build? Anyone just early on you want to take a second look at that you liked the way they were playing?
I'm taking a quick second look because with the 30-second clock, it's so hard to pay attention to certain things while you're doing this because you can't really judge everybody else's team as you're going because you're trying to keep an eye on yours. I'm liking Breaking Ball right next to me so far.
Yeah.
He got a lot of good value with Braylon Allen late, and on top of that has a decent wide receiving core that I could live with. Really like the Boutte pick in the end. I was looking at him as one of my last picks. Love the tight end group, loving the QB group. So solid build overall. I probably would have went a couple different ways with running back in general, but I don't hate it. I don't know enough about Allen to judge, but I love the Allen pick. But yeah, overall, I'm liking how that team kind of worked itself out. Kind of looking around the board a little bit more.
Yeah, Breaking Ball, I agree, was one of my favorite builds for sure on first glance. Really, really like that build a lot. Yeah, I'll give you one to look at here real quick. I think it's definitely one of my favorite builds too for structure. And I think it's a structure not everyone's going to go with, and it's going to feel bad. I need to practice it more, to be honest.
Okay.
I really like Rafi Baum and Depp. I totally agree. I think your team is set up to smash year one, and I think you have enough production on your team
100%.
where if you get a little injured and it doesn't go your way, I like the types of age you have there. Like guys like DJ Moore in the playoffs this year was doing pretty nice. But you've got some guys.
I don't know why you couldn't do that during the regular season. Jesus.
No, dude, for real, right? But yeah, I think Depp's got to. We'll get to Depp in a second here. We'll go for Rafi, but I'll just touch on it right now with Depp Premier's build. It's not like there's not a lot of super elderly statesmen outside of like Henry, but there are guys like Pittman, Moore. We'll see what happens with Ayuk, but like maybe Ayuk has a lost 2026, but by 2027 is actually like a productive,
Yeah, but he already lost 25, so.
Well, there is that too. I'm saying there's enough where like if that season doesn't go right, you can absolutely sell Waddle and Pittman and Moore and have just like a trillion draft picks next year. And in rookie drafts, it's always easy to take the wide receiver. There's more of them than anybody. Usually you have to reach at the other positions, and you can always take wide receiver. So when you do that build, I do like that you can sell out your wide receivers where you need to and draft literally a bunch of 21-year-olds the next year and mess around a little bit. It's an underrated concept, I think, which could make some sense.
I'm not a big fan of trying to flip, like to draft a team to then flip. It's harder for me to understand that. That's definitely something you're better at than I am. I want the team and I want to have my structure built where I have good youth. I want to have good veteran presence. I want to be able to have a good of everything so that it's balanced. I'm a very balanced person when it comes to fantasy.
I'm with you. There's two quick things I'll say there. I mean, one, obviously, I do this a lot. Through many years, right? So this is and Depp is an absolute. He knows what he's doing, right? I mean, he commissions a bunch of league, but he's been playing this game at a high level for a long time. You've got to know your market, your players, and you got to know how to kind of make that wiggle. But there's one sort of social element that I think is interesting when you look at trade patterns in like year 1, year 2, year 3 of a startup league.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of players that are like, I'll try to go for it this year. Who knows when I'll have a chance? The value you get in selling in specifically year 1, or if you want to call it a year 0 of your dynasty conglomeration, right? There is never a more valuable time, right? The shot at winning first just go for like 15% less than they normally would, and the ability to like throw out a first before a game is played to ultimately set up your roster happens much more than any subsequent year. So there's some wisdom in doing it, but you have to come out of the gate storming. If I want to quote some movies, half your trades have to be done by noon, right? For those that know, Margin Call, great movie. Rafi Baum, break him down though. I am a big fan. I'm becoming a bigger fan of at least hero RB, but I'm very good. Like I did it last draft where I definitely ended up with 2 elite RBs, I think at Achane and then Brees, which is definitely elite for me, and then was able to touch everything else. The concession was most people, as you said, it's difficult to not go QB or to at least take 1 QB in the first 2 and then kind of quickly grab 3. And this is no QB through 4, specifically hitting on a middle range of 5 to 7. And in my opinion, this is my favorite way to draft the QB position right now. And what it unlocks is exactly what Rafi was able to do in the first 4 rounds. Even if you trade around, switch a running back with a wide receiver, maybe switch Love with Cook and something else like that, right? But the idea of making that happen, I'm a big fan. But what say you?
I don't hate it. I right now Gibbs is a solid pick anywhere. He's just too good to not to pass up. I would have probably went with something like Puka there. or JSN, just as a, just because for this type of format, for the context of 3 wide and uh, the 3 wide builds, I would probably aim for wide receiver first and then running back later, because you're still having the ability to get guys like Cook or Taylor, just later, or you want to start with someone like McCaffrey. I don't hate it either way, though. I'm a big Gibbs fan. I don't mind Mayfield or Shuck. Love that. Not a big fan of McCarthy. Just not there. Not there yet. I'm like I said, I'm not big on the rookies, so I know who Love is, but I don't know much about his situation. Johnson, I don't know enough about concept. I thought he would. I thought they were.
Yeah.
You want to know something weird? It said KC concept, and I'm like, wait a minute, is that a mistype thing? So I just thought it was a really weird situation. And then Washington, I know of him. I don't know where his value is currently. So overall, I don't hate the build. I like the way he went. Fannin, you get Fannin and Kittle. I thought those two, grabs were good. Myers is such a solid pick to get him anywhere. The McConkey and the Ted McMillan picks are good too. So overall, yeah, I liked it. I liked right next to him. I like Dutour.
I was gonna say, I think you like you like Duarte quite a bit.
Yeah, but it's mostly because it's what I like to. It's how I like to draft. I got 2 veteran wide receivers here that are still young enough to produce and has a good quarterback. He was able to pair it with Stafford, who is going to be back this year. That's my only knock of the whole build is the QB room, but that's easy to fix in this situation. You got Stafford that's going to be, a little bit off, but you still have guys like Penix who, yes, did not have a great year, but can come off of that and do better. You have picks that you can, turn into something. And then Sanders, I'm not sold on. I could bore you guys for an hour about how I feel about Sanders, but and just the whole concept of this offseason. Right now, this is such a win now team that this is one of those teams that I think is winning it right from day one, especially with Walker where he is. He was really lucky getting Walker in the 4th. I thought that was a great pick. Kyron coming back in the 5th is absolutely insane. The fact
I thought that was really, really nice. That little pack right there.
I'm shocked that any of those guys were available for him at that point. The rest of the team just looked really solid. But I'm still loving Breaking Balls, choices there. I think his team is more long-term winning. Duarte's is more win today. And to,
I think with Duarte's, Mr. 56 himself over there, there's only one, and I think this is an analytical. This is something that you won't catch unless you do a lot of mocks and analyze them. Like, if anybody here likes to play chess, right, there's a big difference between, I like playing a lot of chess. I'll hop on chess.com, do the thing, and the people that I'm play a little bit, but I'm also going to analyze the game and how I lost, what happened. It does something to your thinking. Here, you got to look at the difference in value between Flowers and just look at the guys in like the 9th and 10th rounds. I think that is a much thinner gap. And I think the strategy here, knowing that there was absolutely going to be another quarterback run, I think I could have predicted if I do enough of these mocks, I would say, hey, it's safer. Take that QB in 6 because I'm also going to have to double tap in 7, especially if I create the run and then get to end it, essentially. Yeah. You do lose out on Flowers, and it will feel bad 2 wide receivers through 7 at that point. But you could then, I mean, in that particular case, it might be gross, but I think I look at the guys that later on down the line, there's still like a Jaden Higgins, there's still Coker, there's other guys that aren't Flowers, but are still younger and quite talented. Jaden Higgins to Flowers could be extremely close in dynasty value within a year, right?
100%.
And I think just 1 or 2 of those names kind of like that. And I know I got like Golden like a lot later and that kind of stuff, but there's enough value, even like a Bryant. There's a lot of the value is going to converge. But I think that was one small change that I would have made last year in my own startups and things of that nature. That was my number one strategy. I did a lot of mid-tier quarterbacks, had a lot of Purdy, had a lot of Caleb Williams, had a lot of Herbert. Absolutely smashed across the board. I mean, Purdy was injured, but obviously he took an ascent. I mean, with the way the team is and little weapons. But the idea was you had to make sure you get them a little, like one round earlier than you maybe were thinking. And consistently, there was always, when I was done with that pocket, the value still hit the next couple of rounds. I had enough players that I like. So it took some homework, but I think we're going to find like the specific 1-2 ranges where it's like, if I'm going to do that 0 QB build, you got to know when to take the first one, because you may have to double tap based on a hyper QB run that you yourself will have started. So a couple words of wisdom there. Any of the teams you like, you want to break down? I had maybe one more I would shout out, but I want to throw it to you, see if you see anything kind of interesting.
Well, I'm going to answer Rafi. He goes, so far he's found out that good running backs are harder to come by in Dynasty than wide receiver in Dynasty. So in my logical mind of limited Dynasty experience, take the high-end ones first. I agree. I'm not against the Gibbs pick. I probably would have went a different way if this is like a real setting for me. I rather than I had options to kind of go like with Duarte, with grabbing those, really strong options later on. But at the end of the day, it's not anything like Gibbs, who's a lot younger and a little bit, more at a different level than a lot of these guys.
I will say, Rafi, I'll just add, I'm like this year in particular, and I think I'm in a lot of Dynasty leagues, trade a lot. One of the things I'm starting to recommend, it's a futures play. It's not a now play. It's not even it could be a next year play. There's a roll gap forming at the running back position. There's only a couple of they're the dude for the team, right? And everybody else, like even a Kyron Corum split, right, could become a little more Walker Charbonnet in an annoying way, where their role is just, we have a dope RB room. We love both of our RBs, which is great for the NFL. I think that's a great way to play the NFL. It does suck for fantasy when you are hoping for high-end production and the role doesn't fit the talent, right? So I'm a big fan of when you look at the Bijan, Gibbs, Genty, HN, Hampton, Love. You can throw a couple more guys in there. I would go down a couple more, but getting one of them, I think, is a significant edge in terms of later on. You only have to fix RB2, because your RB1 outside of injury, and you just assume if they get injured, you're done that year. It's fine. It happens, and it happens to everybody. But if you just have to fix RB2, that's a much different problem, right? You can take, even in your trade market, you can just say, hey, strategically, I'm going to take just a crap ton of RB3s and 4s. Through injury, I'm going to have plenty of starts. Through oops, they're good, you're going to have plenty of starts. You only have to solve RB2. When you defer the entire running back position, I did, right? Just for kind of like the build went there. The chances that if I decide I want to win in a particular year because I'm set up for it, I am going to have to overpay for a running back that won't even be on my team, right? The amount of times I see Dynasty teams have to pay a second round pick for like a David Montgomery this year, who's just toast too fast. Or I'm trying to think of some of my own picks at some point in time that worked out, but they were just not good. The Aaron Jones pickup, if you need to, that kind of crap where it's like you're burning that pick. If you get that elite running back, hero RB, as they say, and you can properly, efficiently solve RB2, you're gaining a second or a late first back for free in non-overpayment later on, right? So it's like future value. You're protecting bleed. I think there's some wisdom to it. I don't know if you can go as strong as the double hero RB, because actually that's introducing maybe a little bit of additional risk too, because it's the most injured position in fantasy. But to Rafi's point, I think there's a 101, 102 take to that, which is like, hey, from learned experience, I just missed having a running back. But I'm seeing in a lot of channels, a lot of folks that are heavy into the Dynasty, that's becoming a thing because running backs vaulted back up in value in the Dynasty market when it was super trendy for a couple of years there to just fade it entirely. As a community, if we like running backs more, we should draft a little bit more, even if we plan to sell them.
Yeah, fair enough. I think the other team that, after I keep looking at it, is John's.
I was gonna say, I'm glad you picked John. That's the exact one I said. We cannot move past John's build because it's really good, man.
I like the build. I would have gone a different way than Jalen Hurts. I'm not a fan, but I could go a different way with the QB at that point. It's just for some reason I'm just not there. But everything
Just
else,
replace Hurts with Herbert.
Yeah,
mentally pretend that's the case.
I wouldn't even go like Mahomes or Herbert. Any of the guys that went after Hurts, I'm pretty happy with. In that in that realm. So Mahomes, Herbert, Dart, even Trevor Lawrence. Like I'd be okay with those. I'm just not a big fan of Jalen Hurts as a whole. I have him really low in my dynasty rankings. At this point, I loved it because it was Bijan, and then you have the Nico Collins pick. You have good old Bucky right there with T. Higgins and Scadaboo, who you got. To me, you got as a steal. The fact that Scadaboo didn't go above Irving is kind of,
that was insane. Like I think Bucky went late and Scadaboo went late, and it completely made his build. Like if he got screwed at those positions, well, you could if Bucky gets sniped, he can still end up with Hendy or Brees Hall, or Judkins, and I think it's fine.
Oh, 100%.
And the Scadaboo pick's big though. He misses out on Scadaboo, huge teardrop down to Javonte, Etienne, and Harvey, in my opinion. So I think that sealed the deal in this build. But even if you give him less on that one, I still think the build made up for me. For me, it's 8, 9, and 10. Rounds 8, 9, and 10, and having QBs done, that is the best pocket.
Oh, 100%.
Like, I want wide receivers there, and the fact that those guys are there, I think that's where the build came together, is he was RB heavy and then did not get punished even a little bit. And tight ends deep this year, so the fact that he still did fine. I mean, I'm not a big Njoku fan, right? We could talk about the later rounds later on, but
no, I don't. Honestly, I don't mind what he did, except for the Trevor Ferguson pick. I understand Trevor Ferguson's a great pick overall. Like he's a solid tight end, but I would have maybe gone the Barner pick. I would maybe gone to Theo, or I would have gone a different way to guys that I know that I'm a little bit more understanding that could be the guy, because Parkinson did a great job this year in the Rams offense. So, and as much as they want to involve Ferguson, I mean, geez. It's going to be that difficult. But Njoku is going to go somewhere where he's going to be utilized. There are tons of tight end spaces that need to be filled this year.
I'm the spicy Ferguson guy, by the way. I
like him. I think he's
nice.
I think he's a solid guy. I've watched him play. He definitely meets the eye test, and he did a really good job with Stafford this year. He wouldn't have been on the field otherwise. So I'm all for it. I get it.
I like that they threw him some red zone touches in the playoffs. So for me, that was like, dude, where did Arroyo go? Not on the field. A bunch of tight ends were like not in the field. And that guy, that guy was nice.
And that was the whole point. Like, it was crazy that even happened. Njoku, I like, even though now he's a free agent and they have him as a Brown. But the fact that, well, he didn't say that he wasn't coming back, so I get it. But he is one of those things where I feel like he will be a steal for a team that will utilize him a little more. He can maybe go to a place like Kansas City, or another place that
would be. I was just thinking, man, that's the dream.
Yeah, but you know what? They really do. They really like Noah Gray over there, and I think that they are pretty content with him that to relieve Kelsey when he leaves. So it might not be him. I think everybody wants it to be that way. I just don't see it yet. It's just right now it's trying to find the tight end landscape. Is they do list Travis Kelsey as a unrestricted free agent, even though he's going to sign somewhere.
Yeah, I like Miami a lot. I think
Eagles?
Njoku could be nice in Miami.
Wow, I don't even realize how many guys are on contracts, or on free agent list. It's Kelsey, Njoku, Goddard, Hill, Higbee. Okay, so if Higbee's gone, that helps Travis, so I like that. Zach Ertz, he's dead. Pitts is going to come back. They're going to re-sign him.
Zach, your wife is a absolute 11 out of 10. Go retire and have fun, man.
Yeah, enjoy that piece of beers. But I'm not a big Christian Watson fan, so I didn't mind that pick either way. But it was one of those picks that I'm like, I'll get over it. The Pierce pick, he's going to go somewhere that he really enjoys, or he'll come
Dude,
back.
I think Pierce is getting the bag, dude.
Everybody
He's
thinks
nice.
so. Everybody wants it
He's
to be
so nice.
Believe me, I'm on Giants. I'm on Giants X all the time, and unfortunately, too many. I've seen pretty much every free agent is going to be a Giant. So I've seen him on the list. I've seen Likely on the list. So we're going to be getting Letterbound. We're going to be getting Letterbound, Pierce, Likely, and that's how people think it's going to go. I'm like, no. Let's be clear. We're going to re-sign Wando Robinson. We're going to sign Letterman, and then we're going to just deal with what we have to deal with otherwise. So we'll see. But I didn't hate the Warren pick here and the Stevenson pick. Stevenson is very underrated. I honestly am very shocked to see how that all went and worked itself out during the playoffs. I'm very happy that Stevenson got the opportunity to run the ball as much as he did. So I'm really liking the Stevenson pick. The Evans pick, he can go. He's probably not going to be in Tampa next year. He's probably going to be moving on. So we'll see how that goes. But I love the Higgins pick because you sniped the shit out of me.
Yeah, that Higgins pick was pretty nice. The Watson, Pearson, Higgins block feels
this whole grouping I like. And honestly, you could have gone any different way that you wanted to, but I think you hit on all three of them, and there were so many options in that particular grouping. What I did with Wandell, even Mike Wilson, the DJ Moore. There was who else was around there? Worthy,
Coker,
like you had
guys that I was looking at that range. Yeah,
you had so many guys that were available to you, and you did a really great job with hitting on all those. So I really enjoyed just his draft here. I think it's going to be a fight to the death between John and Duarte. So at this point,
hey, Perk wanted a 30-second rundown because we got to get out of here.
Sure.
Did you survive the double? Perk, I want to say yes, man. I want to. I can't though. I can't because you're dead. You have
QB,
0 quarterbacks.
Yeah, your QBs are what killing you.
I get it. Cam Ward's not dead, and he showed a little spice at the end of the year, so I think he's fine. But I really think Kyler Murray is I don't know how many years he has left in the NFL, and you didn't spend a lot on him, right? You spent a 7th, right? Nothing too crazy, but I think it's risky in ways that. I mean, it's tough because before then, I like all of those picks. They feel really good. And I can see where you're like, am I going to pass on Marv to take Dak? Right? Like what am I doing here? I think you found yourself in just a tough spot. If you're going to go that build, though, I think you need more quarterbacks. I think when you
better quarterbacks.
I don't know the point of having Terry McLaurin and Godwin on your team, because if your quarterbacks are bad, those picks actually are just they don't mean anything because you're going to have to sell. So the problem is when one thing goes bad, it all spirals bad. It starts at the QB position and then it could affect others. So think of some safety picks later on. There's picking up a JJ McCarthy a little bit earlier instead of rounding out the build. I think that would have made a lot of sense. Ty Simpson is clearly going to get drafted. He's going to have a shot. I think he's a guy I'm probably picking up too, just because the value of him, if he even just plays a little bit, is going to be better than all those guys that got drafted there or later. So I needed to see a 3rd quarterback and maybe even a 4th to make that make a little bit more sense. Bit greedy. RB tight end, I think, is also, when you go double RB, you are almost asking yourself, in my opinion, to what's getting cut. Your tight end's probably going because you're not favoring tight end over wide receiver when you already have double running back. So I think the way your draft happened, you went pure value picks and then you've got a little value owned. So it's a structuring decision. Each individual pick is good, but structurally, sometimes in drafts, if you say, hey, I'm going to take a worse player now so that later on I can take a better player than who I have to take, you can catch up on value later if you forego it a little bit earlier for the sake of structure and balance. I think that's my words of advice there and how to rein that in. But the 11 and 12 this year are brutal in my opinion, especially in early ADP when everyone snipes. So take that for what it is.
I mean, the only thing that you can actually be okay with is the concept that Kyler is going to be more than likely a Cardinal this year. I mean, it's 56 million of dead cap. I highly doubt they just let him go. I highly doubt they're able to get a trade done for him to go somewhere else because no one's eating that.
Mm-hmm.
So I can take solace in knowing that he will be at least a starting quarterback for you. My whole thing, and I think this is a good. I understand why.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
You were able to stack them, which honestly stacks don't matter in this type of thing. But it was great. I didn't mind the BTJ and the Marvin Harrison picks where you got them. To be quite honest, I'm kind of shocked that
I love
Marvin
those
Harrison,
picks. That's what I'm like. How could you do anything else,
dude? The fact that you were able to get them that late, good for you. But I don't hate it. Ward, I don't hate. But for me, it's just like Kendall said, it's a little bit anemic at that point. I probably would have went Daniel Jones no, you didn't have the option. Well, maybe I would have gone Daniel Jones right at that McLaurin pick, or something outside of that, because I'd rather have the strong, a little bit stronger at QB, and then there's plenty of options at wide receiver that you could have played with a little bit lower. So.
I thought about this a little bit more. I don't think I give Perk enough credit for being active, being a trader. And if that is just a pure value draft, I'll throw this out there. If he were to submit like here's the 2 or 3 moves that I would make, it's 2 or 3 moves away from like Genty Hampton is disgusting forever, right? Yeah. McBride is disgusting forever. Olave, BTJ, Marv for me, that is sexy. So I would do this. If you can go buy a quarterback by using next year's first and second. I did this in the league. I bought Brock Purdy for a mid first and second. I think they were projected that way, and they ended up being that way. Okay. If you can go get that type of player, if you can go buy Shuck for a decent price, who's maybe a little bit undervalued, just give me an undervalued player anyway.
Shuck.
Let's go buy Stroud if the owner doesn't really love or need him, right? That type of player that's safe, fine. You're just not buying him at a peak, right? You're just something stable. If you go burn your first and second next year, your team's absolutely filthy, and your pick's going to be 110 or later unless injury happens. So you're selling your pick at an average pick value because you're selling it early for what's probably going to end up being a late pick. You're going to have great value, and then that solves your running back, your quarterback position. You're one trade away from maybe the best team in the league, actually. So I take that back. I like your build a lot, but it requires execution immediately after the draft.
Here's my question: Would you rather have any one of the QBs that are going to be available next season, or guys like you said, like Purdy, or Shuck or Stroud, or any of those guys that you can get with the first and the second that you're going to be trading away?
It's a tough question. Initially, I just say Purdy for one very simple reason.
Fair enough.
He's
stuck on a team for the next 5 years. He's already.
I don't know where those quarterbacks land.
That's kind of my point. Yeah.
If you land in QB hell, I think
they're all QB hell. No one realizes it's all QB hell anyway. Like, there's no teams. It's very rare that you see teams that are going to do what your Bears did, to go get Trubisky, or like what San Francisco did to try to get Trey Lance. Like, it's so rare to have that happen, and so rare to have it be the way that it did. Right. So, I mean, in my opinion, regardless, QBs are always going to be those rookie QBs are going to the worst teams anyway, overall. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're seeing Mendoza most likely going to the Raiders. Like, and I don't see anything special about this QB class anyway. I don't see anything special about most of this class. I think there's only 3 guys that are even in one way or another even worthy of wanting to draft in one way or another. And that's Tate Lemon and Love in one way. So it's one of those things where you can get value later, but you have to hopefully hit on these guys for that to have anything. So I don't know. I don't think any of this class is as good as classes from previous years where we've had like 5 or 6, or more come out of those classes. I think this is a very quote unquote weak class. I think this is more of a defensive type class and a more of a offensive like line type class where there's a lot of depth at those positions. And I think teams are going to load up this year at those positions. So.
I'm going to get you excited about Mendoza. I mean, I'm an IU
I'm not on
guy.
it. I'm not
Dude,
there.
I'm telling you, Mendoza is a little mini. He's like a poor man's Drake May.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing.
Dude, he's so nice. He's
gotta
actually
watch
got some
more tape.
similarities to. He doesn't have the arm that Justin Herbert has, but he has the same kind of brawn, height, size, right? I've heard some comps to Matthew Stafford just from a stature perspective, but he's got a little bit more legs to him. With
Hendo went at
4'11".
4'11".
Yeah, interesting. I Travion. In your opinion, Travion versus Breece Hall. Are you on Travion, or is it like literally splitting hairs? I'm almost on Breece Hall over Travion. I think I might be.
I'm doing Breece because I think in one way or another, even if he stays, which I doubt, even if he goes someplace that's worthy, I mean, I'm looking at everything here, and the only places that he could maybe go, the Saints, the Minnesota Vikings, I'd prefer him there. Of course, Kansas City, who wants him bad. You know, I've already heard the stories
KC
there.
would be great. I'd love him in Houston.
KC, I think everyone would love, or even Arizona. Arizona's not a horrible choice as well if they want to go down that road, but he would probably be on the lower end for me, and I'd probably stick with Hendo. But in this case, I'm going to stick with Hall because I think he's more talented.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I like, honestly, I feel like the Saints low key get like kind of good if they have Breece Hall. Like
I would be all over.
I'd be pretty into that.
I'd be so thrilled, and it would just make my day if that happened.
Yeah, I like that. I want him on Houston. It's no offense
the
to Woody
other one.
Marks, but Woody, you're supposed to be a third down back anyways, dude. That's what you were drafted to be.
Yeah.
You doing this Woody thing that you're doing right now, it just clearly showed you're not.
I'd
that
be all
guy.
for him going to Houston in a heartbeat. But
Houston
the
could have some
problem,
Super Bowl odds. Stroud getting good at the same time that the receivers
Houston's issue is their line. And they need to do they did something stupid after they did very well going to the when they went through the playoff run with Laramie Tunsil and did so well with Stroud. I mean, Stroud looked like an elite quarterback. Then all of a sudden you trade away your offensive line. You trade 3 of your 5 offensive linemen or release them or whatever, and then went and got other people that were 3 tiers down. And it doesn't make any sense that you would do that. And then all of a sudden you start seeing him struggle. And it's like, wait, you didn't think to get an offensive line? Like, now they're going to have to build it from the draft. They're going to have to try to gain it in free agency. They're going to be involved with trying to get Letterbound and a bunch of other guys that are available. But this year, I see a lot of linemen being available that people are going to, start running towards. So
yeah, they should. In that interior line is it's a nice class for it.
They don't have to do anything on defense. That's the crazy part. They have nothing they need to do. They have a young group of guys on defense that they don't need to fix. They just drafted a whole bunch of wide receivers, and they drafted they did real well on all these other things. And yet the only thing that sucks on that team is their offensive line. Fix the damn line.
They got a Bears thing. The Texans and the Bears look similar. Stroud, Caleb. Okay, Caleb had some issues because he was getting sacked and the line was rough, and the Bears spent a fuck ton of money fixing up that line. Still didn't work completely, to be honest. But all of a sudden,
I mean, you got the blocker of the year or pass protector of the year. So
yeah, I mean, we definitely had some guys for sure, but it was like Caleb went from like, this is going sideways to like he's got MVP odds this upcoming year. I think Stroud could pull a Caleb if they get the offense figured out a little bit. They're not too many pieces away.
Wait, how could he pull a Caleb?
Caleb's trajectory was not good, mostly O-line related. You could see the talent, but the team was taking him down. I never liked the play calling from Houston. They didn't have any blitz beaters. So I think Stroud can have that like, it's not good, but boom. Like
fair enough.
One of those, the team's talent is actually in the 90s, like if we're talking Madden, right? It's just really good. So.
I love this. Raven, I agree. I want him to come. I think he's going to come, but I want him, like, it's one of those, like, I really hope it happens, but I know in my heart of hearts it won't. I'll take Ricard and be happy.
Fair.
Mr. Bakeslaw goes Breece Hall and knee injury. Yeah, he likes him a little bit over Hall. He goes, Hendo is hungry to prove himself like Gibbs was his rookie year behind Monty. Understood. He goes, the only reason Ramondre had so much work was to sell him in the coming year. Maybe.
I do think they probably do that, but Ramondre, honestly, we buried Ramondre as a bad RB.
I've been having him on my teams for years.
He's a nice player. He's
a solid guy. He can catch out of the backfield. He's a bigger guy that can actually catch the ball. I mean, it's one of those things where I've always been a fan of him in one way or another. He's my prototypically sized back. Like he has the numbers that just for me are where is he on this list?
The fumbling issue never happened. I think he has a much
I think that was the biggest issue is that he kept fumbling on the goal line. He kept in the worst situation possible. He's 27 years old. He's 5 foot 220, 227 or 6 foot 227. I mean, that's the ideal size of a running back that you want. And he catches balls out of the backfield, solid hands, good pass blocking. So he's one of those guys that I'm impressed with. And they just never gave him the run because they drafted a guy like Henderson. And I understand they never used Henderson. Vrabel is a very vet-friendly guy. Like, he is not one of those guys that likes playing running backs or playing rookie running backs, if anything. So we'll wait and see how it turns out. But I'm pretty sold on the concept that if you draft Stevenson, you're okay.
Yeah, I'll just quickly add though, their offense doing nothing in the Super Bowl though.
Oh my God, it was gross.
I gotta be
gross.
That's not gonna be great for Ramondre, right?
Did you hear the news after about the concept that they numbed up his shoulder so he didn't know, like he couldn't feel anything? And I noticed something when he was throwing his balls. You could just tell the ball was off.
Well, Drake May is also one of the best feel players. You see some of his throws this season where
I agree, but
how
he didn't look like himself.
No, he didn't. When I watched Tom Brady, he came out that YouTube video. We did the top 10 throws of the season, and Drake May was on there at least twice, maybe.
Oh yeah,
times.
No, Drake had a wonderful season.
He's not a muscle memory, just do it guy. He's I know how to manipulate my arm angle a la Mahomes, make it happen.
But that's the problem.
And
he couldn't tell the speed of the ball. There were so many times that you noticed, I noticed that the ball was short or it was too far, and it was because he had no real, he didn't have that memory of knowing how far or whatever, because he was they numbed him up bad.
It was just, now it could be an honest mistake too, but a little bit of medicine here too, right? You don't often know how drug tolerant a person is if they almost never take drugs. They might have been fine, but they realized, Drake May also looks like he's 12 years old. Maybe he's got the drug tolerance of a 12-year-old, and they gave him a normal man's shot, and he was stoned, right? That could have happened, and it kind of felt like it. So
this is kind of a fun conversation. So Will was playing through a blown knee throughout the season. 100% agree. He allowed 51 pressures all season long and allowed 29 postseason due to his injury. It was also because, just to give you a little bit of breakdown on a couple guys that talked about it after the fact, he was giving a lot of tells, kind of like Jawan Taylor. He was showing his hand every time he would line up on the line, and he would have an extra foot. You would see his foot go back a little bit farther when he's in pass pro, and then you would see his foot on the line when he was doing run block. There were so many tells that they said that it was really it was really easy for them to know what to do. So he's got to work on that. It's definitely a rookie thing, and that's fine. A lot of rookies do it. So he's just got to work that out. He's a solid left tackle. He was one of the best prospects that were out. So just give him time. He'll be fine.
Deep analysis there. We love to hear it.
Oh, I love offensive line. Hey, my brother got me into it, so.
Hey, we'll take it. Get that offensive line deep dive from Classic.
Sure.
There's a few other guys on the internet talking about it, so let's get it, man. Hey, I think we've pretty much killed this horse dead. What a draft! 2.5 hour stream. Hope y'all enjoyed it. This was a good one. What a banger!
Yes,
I know I had a good time with the inaugural Friday night mock. Appreciate all the drafters for coming out. Love you guys. Appreciate the folks in the Discord and on YouTube dropping in here. I appreciate it. Fun times. Lots more to come. Well, Well, the thing I always say, man, get in the Discord. It's kind of a little home right now. You'll hear what's going on, and if you're not big into it, you can always turn the notifications off and just pop into it when you need a little advice or check out the show. So appreciate you guys. Share with your friends, share with your league mates. If they want to hop in and draft with us, you guys are the best advocates for this, and we give it back to you, right? If you get more of your friends and league mates into the drafting community, we'll just do more drafts all darn day. We'll figure it out with Evan back on the team. We got Monday Night Mock's going to be a thing. Phil loves a good draft. That's happening on Tuesday, so we're going to be doing a lot, and then me and Mike taking it home every Friday, man. Can't wait to crack a couple more brews with you later on this year, buddy. You got anything to say in close?
No, man, just make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to the show. If you haven't already, please make sure you guys are checking out our Discord. Like Kendall said, it is a wonderful community that we're trying to build and grow from there. Me, Kendall, Evan, even Phil are all in there one way or another. Frank's in there when he can be. And, we all try to answer your questions. Like Kendall said, we'll give you paragraphs most of the time if we have a free minute. I have a little less time on my hands these days with the little one not running around yet, but
we'll get there.
We'll get there. Yeah, we're almost there. No, I'm kidding. She's only 2 months old. So
we're gonna have to do like a wear your baby stream one of these days,
right?
middle of the day. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
No, my baby is currently trying to go to sleep, so and hopefully sleep through the night tonight.
Hey, fingers crossed for you, buddy, for sure.
Sir.
Yeah. All right, man. I think that's it for us at the Get Right Fantasy Network. Keep them sleeves rolled up. You guys have yourselves a great rest of your Friday night and an awesome weekend.
Later, everybody.
I